Download the app today.
South Korea's president calls for stepped-up security cooperation with the U.S. and Japan in the face of North Korean nuclear threats.
Yoon Suk-yeol says his upcoming summit with the U.S. and Japanese leaders at Camp David will, he says, set a new milestone in trilateral cooperation. It'll be the first time for the leaders of the three countries to gather entirely for a trilateral summit rather than on the sidelines of international meetings. This suggests they're serious about boosting their ties in the face of North Korea's advancing nuclear arsenal and China's increasingly assertive foreign policy. I'm Charles Tiladesma.
Israeli forces shot and killed 2 Palestinians, including a 16-year-old, in the raid in the West Bank. That, according to Palestinian health officials. The Israeli military says its troops came under fire during their mission in the West Bank, and those troops fired back. News and analysis at townhall.com. A fierce storm has dropped flooding rains across parts of Missouri.
It all happened in a short time in an area of the southeastern part of the state, shutting down roads and prompting several water rescues. Unconfirmed reports of up to 8 inches of rain fell Monday morning in Bollinger County. No injuries or deaths were reported, but campers had to be rescued when water inundated 2 campgrounds. The Missouri State Highway Patrol says rescue crews with boats were going door to door in the hardest hit areas. The First Baptist Family Life Center in neighboring Marble Hill was set up as a shelter for those flooded out of their homes. Keith Peters reporting.
Flooding rains swept the nation's capital and surrounding areas yesterday afternoon, and there are more such storms in the forecast today in and around Washington, D.C. Yesterday's flooding resulted in the deaths of several dogs. They were trapped in a flooded animal shelter. Many dogs were rescued, but crews couldn't reach them all as floodwaters quickly engulfed the shelter. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. Let's have a listen. What does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Tuesday, everybody.
The truest of all the days.
Welcome to it. Thank you, Sean, for holding support while I was gone yesterday.
Had a good time, actually. Both interviews. I was looking forward to talking to Matt about going into a second marriage or into another marriage, like advice. How is your advice not just run? But, great conversation with him. Great conversation with the Little Theater.
Well, if you missed that one, we're going to replay it here this morning.
Nice.
So we'll play that in just a few minutes. So if you missed that one, so I will catch it then. So,
nice.
Of course, opening night was last Friday night for
I got to be there.
Is He Dead? This weekend is the second and final weekend of performances. Friday and Saturday night, 7:30, and then the 2:30 matinee on Sunday. So if you didn't get a chance to see it last weekend, we're going to play the interview here in a minute, remind you about it, and then we'll see it this weekend.
Now, we do in that interview talk about auditions that were last night, but I'm pretty sure they're going to have another audition night at some point. So.
Okay, very cool.
Stay tuned.
So you can learn about Is He Dead, which is a Mark Twain. Mm-hmm. It was written by. It was one of those written by Mark Twain, obviously when he was alive, and then it got stuck in a trunk or something and was just recently found in the last 20, 30 years.
I won't spoil the story, but there's an interesting twist on that, on the whole Mark Twain writing it thing that I get into in the interview.
Okay.
Or that's explained to me in the interview. So it's kind of interesting.
Neat. So, we'll play that here for you. And then next hour, we have Dr. Powell from ENMUR scheduled and the Chaves County Extension Office scheduled to join us. And then American Ninja Post 61 is going to join us in the 9 o'clock. Give us some information that they've got coming up, events and things there.
Very good.
I had a good weekend. Went to Ruidoso.
How was the weather up there?
It's nice. Cool.
Yeah.
Not too shabby, but didn't see as much rain. Like I didn't really have.
You were hoping for that kind of cool mountain pine.
Yeah, we kind of missed some rain. Like we left Saturday, and then it's like the rain. We came through after the rain did. Like there was puddles and everything.
Right.
We're like, oh, we missed it. So like we stopped at the Allsups, the newer one that's in.
It's like Hondo.
Yeah, Hondo area.
It looks like a mall from the road.
It's big.
The way it's like built on kind of like lower down.
Yeah.
It looks like you're looking at like a Walmart.
I've been there a couple times. Yeah,
I haven't been to that one yet.
It's a Allsups with a market. So it's a little bigger than the average Allsups. But
Right.
so it's got like a section where you can get like some groceries and stuff because it's Hondo and there's probably a 30-minute drive to an actual grocery store in the other
Here's
direction.
the thing. Before that, all they had was the other Allsups, which was just an Allsups.
Yeah,
so now they've
exactly.
got a mini
So
mall.
for folks that live in that area, I'm sure it's been a game changer for them.
yeah.
But yeah, we stopped through there and we'd meet right after the rain and everything. But no, it was really nice. We stayed at the MCM Elegante, which was very nice, and you had a nice room with a fireplace that does put out heat. Because Kim and I were arguing for a while. She goes, I think it's just for lights, and then I came back. I was out of the room, and then I came back. And I said, by the way, that's putting out heat. I'm standing right here.
Is it a wood fireplace or was it like an automatic
gas
one?
where you turn on a little knob or job and it run it for 20 minutes or 30 minutes. But it did put out heat. I was like, yeah, there's heat coming out of this thing. But and of course we had the hot tub in the bathroom in there, and so we partook and just had a good time. Had a nice dinner at the Rancher Steakhouse.
To clarify, he's talking about the jacuzzi tub in the bathtub.
Yes.
In the bathroom. Because you just said there was the bathroom in there and we partook.
Oh, I thought I said a hot tub in the bathroom. There was a hot tub in the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say.
We did use the bathroom a few times.
We did.
Don't worry.
Did flush and everything.
We're regular.
Had water and plumbing. It's
You know one
crazy.
cool spot on the way up there. Have you ever been to Fox Cave?
I've been by it 1,000. I've never actually been in it, read about it, never actually set foot inside of it.
Really cool little spot. Like this, it's kind of like almost like a mini outdoor Meow Wolf. There's a bunch of really cool art installations.
Well,
up there,
historically,
and-
wasn't it one of Billy the Kid's hideouts back in the day? Yeah.
Yeah, and they reference that. There's if you go up the hill, there's like a Billy the Kid replica inside of like a jail like outhouse. Kind of thing.
Okay.
But
Because
it's
the building's actually in a cave in
Yeah.
the building. It's not like a structure per se.
Yeah, no, it's built into the cave,
Yeah.
the actual cave itself, and you go inside, and they sell like Native American stuff,
Yeah,
kachinas
it's
and
got
all
jewelry
that.
and gifts
but
and
it's
stuff.
mostly like gems and rocks, so it's kind of like
Okay.
Ancients Days a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Like you can go and crack your own geode open and stuff like that.
Oh, nice.
It's a really cool little spot.
Plus, they got all the oddities and things, the hands. And,
Yeah, the weird.
Yeah. Very
But it's
artsy
definitely a roadside tourist trappy style place, but it's really cool if you
Yeah, I
take a trip
always
to that.
wanted to. I just never had the gumption to stop and go in there. One of these days I will. But
Most of the time when you're headed to Ruidoso, you're like, let's just get there. I get it.
when you go home, let's go home.
I've lost enough money. Let's just go.
But real nice. Had a nice dinner Saturday night at the Rancher Steakhouse. Which was
Nice.
very good. And I had an elk steak. Kim had prime rib.
Nice.
And Kim was only I ate most of her prime rib, so I actually had elk and prime rib over the course of the week because we took Kim's leftovers home, and so that was dinner for me the other night.
I'm just not a huge, and I know this is a hot take, I'm just not a huge prime rib guy.
You know what? I like steak, and I'd rather have, but then I have prime rib, and I'm like, you know what? This thing's just delicious.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just, I'm just not a huge fan. Like, I wouldn't order it. If it was prime rib or something else, I'm always getting something else.
No, I dig it. It was a big steak. Like she got a 10-ounce, but I don't know. I think either their scales broke or they just felt like cutting a little extra because that thing looked bigger than 10 ounce to me.
Yeah.
But it was good. It's tasty. And then the elk, which I preferred the prime rib. The elk was tasty. The glaze that they use in it was like this cherry something, and it was good. But after eating prime rib and elk at the same time, because I preferred the prime rib. But the elk was very tasty. I'd eat it again and everything else.
Was it particular? Did they were they able to get most of the gaminess out
Oh
of it?
yeah,
'Cause
that's
the biggest problem with
the glaze. That's why they use that strong cherry because it does. It was tender. I mean, I could pretty much cut it with a fork. It was so dang tender. I didn't, but I could have.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it needed that strong cherry to cut through the thing, which it did, and it was tasty. But it's not, to me. You eat a prime rib and then eat the elk, and then you're like, the prime ribs is by far the tastier meat there. It's just it's not even close. I mean, it's just better meat. But
Right.
it was good. It was a delicious meat. You know, weirdly enough, the thing that I enjoyed as far as taste wise the most was the soup.
Really?
You get your appetizers and you want salad or soup or whatever, and so I asked for the soup, and it was a chef soup, because they're like, what's the soup for, they had French onion, which is I think their normal fare, and then soup of the day, which it was what they call the chef soup. And this one,
That sounds good.
that's how good. I'll have that. This one, obviously, I guess they don't do it every day, but they should. It was a red chili based broth with chicken and vegetables, and it was good. So it was like a kind of like a pasoli broth,
Right.
but with chicken, and then it had like zucchini squash and corn and onions and some other, and I don't know, it just hit me right, and man, that tasted good. And I was like, that soup is excellent. I would come here for more of that soup. Yes, I'm in a steakhouse and I'm here for steak, but that soup was a 10. So,
you can really judge a restaurant by the quality of their soups. I mean, if they put the heart into a good soup, that shows.
Yeah,
shines through.
Yeah, that was probably, we dropped. We spent some coinage in there. We didn't get the low. I mean, they have burgers and stuff, but we didn't get. We were on an anniversary date. We had a more higher end. So yeah, we dropped well over $100 in there. But
that's one thing.
For 2 meals and an app.
I took the kids over to Texas Roadhouse a couple nights ago for dinner. The one thing that strikes me as funny is you don't even need to order food at these places. They just hit you with a barrage of stuff. Like, I had a free appetizer because I downloaded the app. So I order my appetizer. They bring out the bread, with the butter. They bring out the appetizer. Then they bring out the thing of peanuts. I'm like, I'm full before my entree even got here. I got like 3 bites of my food, and I just end up taking it home.
That's why I end up. You always take home stuff from that place.
Man, dude, it's like a barrage of angry food
it's
just
all
coming
tasty.
at you.
Like the rolls are great. It's all good. So by the time you get to your steak, you're like, I'm full.
Right? I want this steak.
And then they give you big sides. And it's like, I want the corn, I want the mac and cheese, I want all of it. So
yeah.
No, I get it. I understand completely how that is. But real nice. The hotel was nice. Everything was nice.
Did you explore the grounds at all? The hotel?
A little bit. Not too much, because it's mostly golf stuff. And I don't care about.
Did you guys go into Ruidoso proper, like go downtown or anything?
Yeah, we were driving around. We hit, because we kind of had dinner that night, so we didn't. And we've been to Ruidoso 1,000 times.
Sure.
So that wasn't kind of, we're not.
And I've been there, a ton of times, but it's still one of my favorite things to do is just walk up and down that downtown area where the mall is and where the
yeah, we've done that a bunch, so that
liquor and all
wasn't something we were needing to do. We kind of we're good with that. We just kind of, hung out the property there, had the dinner Saturday night, and just kind of got up in the morning, had a leisurely breakfast, and just kind of just enjoyed the thing, and then made our way eventually, home, mid-afternoon Sunday. Lunchtime Sunday, we started heading back and came back in time to get groceries. And then yesterday, I kind of did some stuff at the house, worked on a few things. They showed the Commanders game from Friday on NFL Network at like 2 a.m. last night, so I recorded it and watched it yesterday.
Nice.
Saw that. And
how'd they do?
Huh?
How'd they do?
They won.
Really?
Not that it cares. It was 17.
But morale's up is what we're moving
the
towards.
things, they look good in the things I wanted to see. They've still got some work to do, but I thought their new quarterback looked good enough in the game 1 of his preseason to say, yeah, he might be good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. This is preseason. What are you gonna do? But watch some of that. Yeah, see Cowboys, because I think they lost to the Jags.
Oh yeah, they lost.
Yeah, so it's the preseason. It don't really matter.
Which I'm not a huge fan of the Jaguars, but I'm a fan of the owner of the Jaguars, Tony Khan, because it's the same guy that owns AEW. So
okay.
Yeah. So it's sort of a tie-in. Actually, during the whole pandemic, they ran shows at a Daly's Place, which is attached to Jaguars Stadium.
Oh, okay. Yeah, preseason doesn't mean a dang thing. And
Right.
it just, because even if the wins, losses don't matter, because it really depends on what the coach is trying to do. Like, the coaches, like, they don't scheme against each other in preseason. They're literally looking for their, so the play calling doesn't make sense because it's not situation. You know, they'll try to do some of that.
Sure.
But they're looking to evaluate their talent, so they want to
Right.
see them in certain scenarios. So they're going to do
Yeah, they're not
things.
going for the win. They're going to
And so
create the
when you see
playbook.
these scores and you see a team that's perennially good get smoked by a team perennially bad, it's because they handle preseason different. If you look at those years when the Colts and Peyton Manning and they were either at the Super Bowl or near it, adjacent every year, they went like 0-4, 1-3 in preseason every year. They got smoked because they didn't care. They were working on other things. And then regular season starts, you're like, all right, now it's game.
Sure,
It's nice to get the win, and if you're a young coach, it's good, you know, because you're trying to secure your job. But teams that are like the perennial teams, those preseason records don't mean a dang thing. That's
Yeah, but
completely on what they're working on.
yeah, I can see that when you treat it more like a combine.
They
and
don't
you do
scheme it like that. Like the Cowboys did no defense planning against the Jaguars. They're not in there looking at tape. I mean, they're looking at tape, but they're not looking at tape to try to come up with defensive plans. They're busy trying to say, all right, we got 12 guys. I want to see them in blitz situations. I want to see them in these situations. That's what I'm putting them in.
Right.
And so I
cuts
want
can be
to
made.
see them on 4th and goal and see how they react. I want to see it on, you know, that's what they're looking for. So
Who's getting strung where?
yeah, take the scores out the window. It really doesn't matter. That's because, I mean, sure, it's nice to win, but they're situational. They're in the scoreboard's the last thing they're looking at.
Fair enough, but the Cowboys still lost. Don't you dare take that away from me.
And the Redskins, Commanders still won, so it's all good.
There you go.
All right, 7:19. Probably should get going here so we can get Sean's interview with the Roswell Communal Theater in. Let's go ahead and take a look at your weather. One more day of sub 100 and back to 100. So enjoy that. Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny with a few clouds early today, and then mostly sunny for this afternoon. We'll stay in the mid-90s on today's high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds. Our lows in the upper 60s to low 70s, and then we heat up a little bit on Wednesday. Sunshine across the area, upper 90s to low 100s. We do have a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm by Thursday afternoon. Highs in the low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 72 here in Roswell. Humidity's at 50%. Winds are calm at the moment. 94 and sunny today with east winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Partly cloudy. Overnight low 70 tonight. South winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunny with a high of 102 for your Wednesday. South winds 5 to 10. Partly cloudy tomorrow night with an overnight low of 72. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunny and 103 for you Thursday. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy and 71 for an overnight low. Friday, sunny and 102. So when you're heading out for your first game of the season, a little bit warm out there if you're going to be out the World Bowl or traveling. And then for the weekend, sunny and 101 for your Saturday, sunny and 100 on Sunday, and then 98 when you head back to work on Monday of next week. All right, 7:21. We're going to take a 3.5-minute break. Then we're going to play our interview Sean had yesterday with the Roswell Community Little Theater, talking about Is He Dead? Weekend number 2 this weekend. Don't go away.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 1,633 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with excellent buyer attendance. Compared to last week, stocker steers sold steady, heifer mates 3 to 6 lower, feeder steers 3 to 5 higher, heifer mates steady to 2 higher, packer cows and bulls steady to 5 lower, 3 to 400 pound steers 320, 340, 3 to 400 pound heifers 270, 282, 4 to 500 pound steers 290, 320, 4 to 500 pound heifers 253, 270, 5 to 600 pound steers 268, 290, 5 to 600 pound heifers 238, 253, 6 700 pound steers 245, 268, 6 700 pound heifers 190, 238, 7 800 pound steers 222, 245, 7 800 pound heifers 190, 194, packer cows 105, 111, canner and cutter cows 80 to 90, packer bulls 110, 136, feeder bulls 85 to 92, top half the cow calf pairs $1,500 to $2,000 per pair, Top half the bread cows, $1,300 to $1,525 per head. We do appreciate the business, and we'll talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
How about a fresh, healthy glow this new year? Put your best face forward and meet all your skincare goals with Dr. Cometti at Roswell Skin Center. Build confidence and enjoy the skin you're in. Treat yourself to a facial, chemical peel, Botox, fillers, or laser treatments. Loyalty membership gets you $50 off your first treatment. Learn more at roswellskin.com.
The Out of This World Vehicle Elimination Event is on at Roswell Nissan. For 2 big weekends, Roswell Nissan is throwing the biggest party in the galaxy with free food, stuff for the kids, and your chance to win one of 2 packages that include an Area 52 laser tag group session and 2 free movies a month for a year from Galaxy 8. And that's not all. Roswell Nissan is giving away $250 cash every day at 6 p.m. from August 18th through August 26th. And great deals like a 2021 Nissan Versa for just $289 a month. The Out of This World Vehicle Elimination Event on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
Your destination for health is closer than you think. You don't have to drive hours for personalized care. You can get high-quality health care right here, close to home, at Artesia General Hospital. From hip, knee, and shoulder replacements to sports injuries, general surgery, pain management, and wound care, our providers will help you get back to doing the things you love right here in Southeast New Mexico. Artesia General Hospital is here for you when you need us. To learn more about some of our key service lines, visit artesiageneral.com/closer.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
And morning, 16 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Roswell Community Little Theater, Chris Whipperman and Miss Gina Montague. How are you guys doing this morning?
Good. Good morning.
Doing great.
Fantastic, fantastic. It is. You guys are hot off the heels of an opening weekend, and I know there's still kind of that high, that the buzz that you guys still have.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
We had a great weekend. Everything went great. The audiences were great. The actors were great. It was just a great overall weekend. It's what you want when you have a show premiere. Definitely.
Absolutely. And that's the one thing I was really excited for is that we did have a good crowd.
Yeah.
It really drew a good crowd. Of course, we're talking about the opening play for the 65th season, I believe it is, of the Roswell Community Little Theater. Is He Dead? It is a Mark Twain play directed by Miss Gina Montague. And I'm going to go ahead and say co-starring, because there is a star, but co-starring Chris Whipperman in a number of roles. You had like 6 different characters that I think you rolled out throughout the
I do. Well, let's just say 5, because one might be a surprise character. So,
okay, right.
Yes, but...
so 5 characters. I wasn't keeping score or anything. I actually just threw a number out. I got lucky. But yeah, it is an absolutely immersive play, and it takes a twist. There is a definite twist. And like I said on all my social, I don't want to spoil the twist because it's really good. But it just all the way through, rip-roaring humor. It was fantastic. So let's talk about the process. Now, I know in the casting of this play, there's a lot of male roles that needed to be filled. And I know that we were scrambling to get...
I think you got a phone call last minute.
Here's the thing. My friend Will got a phone call at one point, which blows everybody who knows Will's mind. He talks about like this speed, this volume. You can't really hear anything he's saying over a slight breeze. I'm like, you got to project, my friend. But I got to tell you, the people who filled those roles filled them perfectly. It could not have been better cast.
Yeah.
So talk about the casting process. What was that like? And when you're casting, is there just that point where you just know?
Well, I'm going to put this to Gina because the casting was all her. And me personally, we had certain number of people for roles, but I wouldn't have put them in that order. I just didn't see a couple of the people doing it, and she saw it from the start, so it's all her.
Yeah, there is a point where you're just like, that's it. There it is. That's my Chicago, or that's my Dutchie, or and I like to have them read multiple roles. Even if I know that already, I just want to make sure, and test them out. But we were so fortunate, so very fortunate. And we got some of the best actors.
Absolutely.
And they have done a phenomenal job, and they have worked so hard. and it has turned out beautifully. I couldn't be more proud of my cast.
And not even just the cast, but also the understudy. I mean, we had we had Miss Patty Stacy step up this weekend in a big way.
Yeah. Unfortunately, one of our cast members came down with an illness Thursday that we found out about with opening night Friday. And fortunately, Patty was able to step in, and people might notice in the 1850s that they didn't always have little Bluetooths in their ear, but it is live theater, and you guys, show must go on. So we've got Gina in back reading the lines off.
That's the beauty of being nearsighted. I didn't catch that necessarily. There's a couple things I didn't catch until they were pointed out to me, and then I was focusing, and I was able to catch them. Again, I don't want to spoil anything, but we sort of do have to let the cat out of the bag, because I have to talk about Bryce's performance.
Okay.
I mean, not only did he have to learn his part in accent, he also had to learn his part in falsetto accent.
Yes.
And that's a task.
That is. And then the physical aspect, which I won't go into, but trying to learn how to and embracing that role.
What's the term? Swoop and sit. Shroomp and sit. Yeah.
Shroomp and zinc. Yes.
That's
and then the accents. You know, when you're talking about casting, that's another thing. Is some of these characters, Irish, Dutch, French. You have to have specific accents. So getting people who are able to do those is a surprise. And a couple of our actors, Jim and Ray, have never done. Well, I shouldn't say never. I think they did stuff. Ray did stuff years ago, but haven't been on a theater stage in years. Alex too, I think this was her first thing.
I was reading her bio. She's worked a lot backstage. She's a painter by trade, so she does a lot of set design and painting. And this was kind of her attempt for, I think she said, since Arizona.
Yeah,
she was in Arizona on stage.
And then Zach, who plays Chicago, which that's actually a huge role. And he's a young guy. I think he's 20. I think he's 20 years old. Just amazing and
phenomenal.
And the amount of work that these guys, everybody, and I know. Look, I have numerous roles, but each one's just a couple minutes on stage, which is perfect for me because.
But then there's a lot of it's a monologue heavy.
There's some of the stuff, and it's crazy because Bryce, and I don't know if you've worked with him and stuff, but man, like a weekend of rehearsal, he's showing up off book on the entire first act, while the rest of us are trying to remember what page our lines are on.
I've known Bryce for a few months now. We actually met at karaoke. We met through Alex. And then I found out that he works with my father-in-law at Southwest Printers.
Yeah.
So there's the tie in there.
Shout out to Southwest.
But he is that off stage. He's that bubbly personality. He's always on. He's always up. So I got to tell you, and I saved this because I wanted to get your organic reaction.
All right.
So recently, I had an edict handed down to me from the manager of the trailer park that I live in, that all of our properties had to be up to a certain code by July 31st.
Okay.
Now, I had been putting it off because I was waiting for. In the last few summers, we've had a lot of heat right at the beginning, and then it tapered off in July, and it was like 90s. So I was waiting for that sweet spot, and it never came. So it's the weekend before July 31st, which fell on a Monday. It's the Sunday before July 31st, and I have to paint my whole house.
Oh, no.
So I enlisted the services of Miss Alex to come over and help me paint, and she came through like crazy. I mean, we were both like heat stroke. At a point, I had to stop because I was out helping her, rolling, and then we had a paint sprayer. But I had to stop because I was getting dizzy. I felt like I was going to. It was bad that day. But she stuck it out, kept painting, and so I'm dropping her off afterwards at her house. We were discussing. I was like, "So you're going to kind of go dive into an ice bath now and cool off?" She said, "No, actually, I'm gonna. Bryce is gonna pick me up, and we're going to go paint a sheet with the silhouette of a man that looks like he's covered in soot. I guess basically Bryce laid down, and they drew out a silhouette of him, and that was colored in with coal soot, essentially, or soot-colored paint. And when I saw that piece pop up on the set, I was like." I know the origin story of that piece.
It turned out beautifully.
Yeah.
That was made on July 30th.
Right.
But it's you guys use the set and you use all the. There's again in the second act. There's a scene or there's a whole series of scenes, which people just keep getting sent to different rooms, and you have to keep track of who's where and what's happening to who and what. And the turn at the end with it was so good. It had almost like a Scooby-Doo madcap feel to it.
Yeah. No, it really it's been a fun show to work on and a fun show to see develop, and to see everybody fall into their roles. I mean, this is one of those ones where, butthole's a little puckered up to the last minute. And if I could say that, a little too late now, but
it's on one of the 7.
Okay, good. Well, let's see if we could go through. No. Where's your dump button?
Over there, I can't reach it.
Okay. Just seeing everybody come into their roles and then like it really just feels like opening night, everything clicked. Everybody remembered, everybody found their voice, and it was just an amazing night.
And no amount of practice, no amount of dress rehearsal, no amount of going over and over and over it are quite as readying as that opening night. As the crowd is here, we have to be on. And now it sort of cements the parts in your head. Like there was a couple of slips on the opening night, but it's opening night.
Yeah.
So those things got smoothed out, and by this coming weekend, I mean, it's going to be Broadway level.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
everybody knows everything inside and out.
Can we charge Broadway prices?
Right. the musical parts, I mean, I think are all really gonna sell. But and the other thing that needs to be talked about, and I haven't been to the last little theater performance I went to was I want to say maybe 2 years ago. Michael White was in a play. I can't remember what the play was. He played a fox character. He was done up like I cannot remember the name of the play for the life of me. But that was the last time I was there. Okay. And even since then, the sound, the lighting have improved tenfold. At times, I was taken out of it and felt like I was watching a TV show. Almost.
Well, that's what I guess we like to hear that, but also like to hear that it's live theater. We don't want you to feel like you're watching TV, but we want you to feel like it's an organic experience.
I sunk in and was experiencing the story. I didn't mean to say it was like TV, but I sunk in experiencing.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
And with the, I even asked afterwards. I was asking my friend, I wonder how they mic'd him. I said, I wonder if they have like lav mics or if it was booms. I have the inside story now, but it was just really very well put together, and that's a testament to the backstage crew.
Well, and
Absolutely.
Gina right here. I mean,
of course,
it all falls down on the director.
Right.
And
100%.
I was the assistant director for this and did some stuff on the set. And Bryce and Alex helped us tons with the set.
A lot.
I mean, everybody. It's such a community effort. Everybody pitches in, whether it's costumes or props or
ideas.
Yeah, ideas. When you're going through rehearsals, every now and then it's just somebody's like, hey, wait a minute, let's try this right here. And it's a community effort, but it was Gina's vision. She's been working on getting this play done for a couple of years, and it turned out great.
Now, there were a couple of times watching this play that I wonder, is this a direct Mark Twain script, or did we take Mark Twain's and kind of touch it up a bit?
So, yeah, it has been adapted by David Ives. It was incomplete when they found it.
Really?
In his notes and papers in the early 2000s. And so it did need to be completed. And he put it on a pretty strict diet. It had like up to 52 characters. It was, it needed to be
It was 3 acts and probably like 3 hours long.
Yeah,
so
it had to be trimmed down. But I think the result is supreme. It stays true to Mark Twain style and humor, and you absolutely feel that in the show, but yet it's trimmed down quite a bit.
Yeah. Even the part I do is written for one person to play all those characters.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, so that wasn't
You were the Medea of this play.
There you go. Yeah, we'll say
the clump. For my generation. But there was one part specifically which was Guess Who? I'm like, I don't think Mark Twain would have written Guess Who. That feels very modern.
Right.
But I also loved all the Saved by the Bell style timeout lean outs to the crowd, to the fourth wall. That's all. Those were all so good. And again, testament to the director, because you have the eye, you have the vision, and just it was an amazing performance.
Well, everybody did great, and for me, this was a lot of fun. Just I've always kind of been like, I've never had like a lead role, which is fine with me. I'm kind of more fun. Or I enjoy more getting a few minutes on stage here and there. So this is perfect for me. And from the time I read this, I told Gina, I was like, okay, I know what part I want.
Now, I'm not going to, without spoiling anything, I will say, if you're going to get your ticket, and get your tickets, by the way, Roswell Theater, that's TheatreDot theatra.com.
The fancy way.
Absolutely. Theatra. Get your tickets for Is He Dead? Performances 7:30 Friday, 7:30 Saturday with a Sunday matinee at 2:30 p.m. And again, so plenty of seats available. But I will say this: when you do get your ticket and you're sitting there, keep an eye on Chris's characters. There's a certain trait that Chris has, a certain characteristic that Chris's characters have that you're going to want to pay attention to. So I'm just going to leave it at that.
The mystery is released upon the masses.
Absolutely. So I mean, it was just an awesome time. So obviously the cast is still in that buzz state. You guys practicing all week still, keeping that going, or are you giving them a break?
So usually we do a pickup rehearsal, but not all week long.
Right.
Just one in the middle and keep it fresh.
Right.
Stay on top of the lines, because if you don't look at them every day, you do forget about them. But they're pretty good. They know the routine.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is just the kickoff of the 65th season. A lot of great plays. I don't have the list in front of me right now, but a lot of fantastic plays, culminating in the end play. I do know this, Around the World in 80 Days.
Yes.
Jules Verne classic. So that's really exciting.
Well, I should let Gina talk real quick because we do have some auditions coming up tonight.
Absolutely.
As a matter of fact, so.
Yes. Farce to Habit is having auditions tonight at the theater at 6:30. If you ever thought about being on stage or even working backstage, we always need people, sound and light, set design, costumes.
The unsung heroes.
Yeah, there's tons of things. If you're new to town and looking to make friends, this is the best way to develop a whole group of friends overnight.
A group of friends with fantastic personalities.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a testament to that. I moved here 4 years ago and found the theater, and this is my wheelhouse now.
Yeah.
So anyway, sorry.
And it's just a ton of fun. Sure. It is a lot of work. I'm not gonna lie to you about that. It is a lot of work. But when you're having fun, it doesn't feel like work. That's why they call them plays.
Well, you know this, Sean. I mean, you've done stand-up. You know that payoff is when you're standing there and the first chuckle you get, or the first applause, or when you walk out there and
it's food.
Yeah,
it fuels the latter performances. As long as I know I've got you, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah,
it's a really good feeling, and that's what an actor feels. That's what the curtain jerker feels. That's what every part of this cast and crew gets to feel, because they came together in a collaborative effort and made it happen.
Oh, I got recognized the other day.
Yeah?
I was out someplace and somebody was like, "Oh, I remember you as Elvis from that play." And I was like, "Okay, there's my Roswell famous moment."
There you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I love my mama.
So, Farce of Habit, are we looking for what are we looking for the cast?
So I believe there's 4 women, 5 men.
Okay.
It is a farce, so fast-paced, in and out, back and forth. Comedy, of course.
Sure.
Takes place in a fishing lodge in Arkansas called the Reel 'Em In.
Okay.
And there's all kinds of zany characters staying at the lodge, and of course the family running the lodge, they're nowhere near normal. And lots of twists and turns. It's a good one too.
See, this is. I'm gonna say it. I might actually. Oh, I can't. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try my absolute best to be there tonight to audition, because this is my wheelhouse. I grew up on the Zucker Brothers. I grew up on on Naked Gun and Airplane, and I love farces. I love that whole genre of.
We watched Top Secret the other day.
Dude, one of my favorites. Top Secret and Spy Hard.
It's such an unknown movie,
right?
Yeah.
Those two are my top two of nobody talks about them, but they're so good.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's if you're into those kind of movies, Airplane, Top Gun, Naked Gun, or Top Secret, Naked Gun, those types of fast-paced farces, and Mike uses it in his opening. He uses a line from Naked Gun. No matter where they are, those scumbags, we're going to find them. Not one of these men on this force will rest until the man who's responsible has been captured.
Yeah. Now let's grab some lunch.
just so good. So if you're into that genre of film, this is right up your alley. Come on out. Like I said, 4 women, 5 men. So definitely opportunities available, and that's tonight at the theater.
1717 South Union. Yes. It's there at the old Galaxy Twin Theater.
Park Twin.
Park Twin. Yeah. Sorry. I'm still new to the town. I'm still learning.
It's so funny. I've entered that phase in my life where I've now I'll drive my kids around and point at things and tell them what they used to be.
Uh-huh.
And that's happening more and more with Roswell. Like, that used to be the Park Twin Theater. I went with my friend. I said we were going to go watch Analyze This. I told my mom and dad we were going to watch Analyze This. We ended up sneaking to the other theater and watching Cruel Intentions.
Nice.
That puts a date on it for you folks out there who haven't figured it out.
Nice choice of movies there.
But yes, it has since been converted into the absolutely amazing Roswell Community Theater. You guys have done such great work with that space.
Yeah,
it's almost unrecognizable from what it used to be.
Well, it's moving here to a smaller town. In a big town, you got theaters all over the place, and you don't really get. I never really thought about auditioning for stuff because it seemed very impersonal, and but here it's just like this is our community, this is our family, and it's great to like walk in someplace and recognize and say, oh yeah, I saw them there last night, and so that's what's kind of nice about it. And it I don't know, I love it. It's my passion now, and I've got the bug.
I will say that at different points in the evening and since, all three of us, and actually, hey, Jocelyn, I wanted to have you come in here because I wanted to get your impressions on the opening night, if you get a chance. But all three of us, myself, my friend Misty, and Jocelyn, at different points we're like, I kind of want to audition for a play now. Like we were talking because we kind of lost Alex through the rehearsal process during this last month or so, and we were like, we miss Alex. We want Alex back, and we were complaining about how much time it was taking for the and all that. But now, having seen the payoff, having been a part of that audience and seen it, it was absolutely worth every single rehearsal, every single going over of the lines, and it was great.
Yeah.
So, 7 o'clock tonight.
Auditions, I think it's 6:30.
6:30.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
6:30 tonight at the Little Theater at 1717 South Union. Again, 4 women, 5 men is what they're looking for, and this is again the second play of the season. So if it hadn't quite grabbed you, go see Is He Dead this weekend. We were already talking about getting tickets for the next performance too, just because we want to go again.
That's the beauty of theater. If you saw it last weekend, come again. It'll be a little different. We'll all forget different lines.
Exactly, it's a living, breathing experience.
It is.
Absolutely.
You learn different new ad libs to work in. Like you try something one night and it worked, so I'm going to try it again the next night. And if that worked, it's cemented at that point. This is one of my favorite stories ever in the show Parks and Recreation. There's a moment where the main I can't think of her name. Amy Poehler's character is sick. And they're trying to figure out what she has, what her sickness is. Chris Pratt's character, Andy, is sitting at the computers. Now, none of the computers were connected to the internet. They were just prop computers. So, out of nowhere, he goes, I Googled I put your symptoms into this computer here, and it says you might have internet connectivity issues. Wow. And I was like, that is one of the greatest ad-lib lines I've ever heard.
Great.
So if you have a confidence about yourself, try a line out. See if, and I know as a director, you're like, shut up. Stick to the script.
Yeah.
Because that throws the other actors off. I understand. Improv's for improv. But if you got a line that works, maybe you as a director sees and says, okay, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Because you got to, like you said, it's a living, breathing thing.
Well, that's the fun part of it is, trying to make some of those little things look natural or organic, things you've rehearsed a half dozen times or 10 times or 20 times.
Right.
And, like Charles, his character, Dutchie, he has to eat some stuff. And, you don't ever see that until the actual performance. So it's great to see when those things pay off. And you're absolutely right. It's like, one night we hear the audience laughing at something we didn't think they'd laugh at. So the next night when you come up on that part, you kind of put a little emphasis on it. And so it's what's great about the last, I just say, of course you want to come on opening weekend, but it's what's great about the last weekend is that we've had time to kind of tighten up our performance and find where the jokes are going to hit. And so that makes it a little bit better.
Right. You know what laugh lines to look forward to and when to pause for
exactly.
laughter.
Yeah.
And not stampede through. Now I'm curious: is the matinee experience? For the actor, for the performer, is that more like a more relaxed setting for matinee versus a night performance, or do you feel like it's pretty much the same?
Well, my personal opinion is it's no different than any other one. It's just you're starting earlier. Once you're in the theater and you can't see the doors out front, you don't know whether it's light or dark. So you kind of lose track of time. So
I have a hard time going to day movies because it's that experience of you walk outside and you're like, oh, it's still daylight.
Yeah, that's always been when you walk out of it. And that's kind of how it is you don't really, you walk in the door for us we get there at 4:30 or 5 o'clock and your performance is at 7:30, you're done about 9:30, 10 o'clock, and so you don't know whether it's light or dark, and you just know you're tired, you know. But the Sunday performances, the first week is fun, the second week is tough because after the performance,
it's the last leg of the marathon.
We're done, and the thing, kind of a tradition with our theater is we stay and take the set down and get the theater ready for the next group. So
that's awesome.
So
Okay.
so that's kind of our little tradition, is that Sunday after the performance, you're exhausted and tired, but then we grab a drill and let's start taking all this down. So,
Now, and then the wrap party, right?
and then the rap party,
Gotcha.
yes.
So even after you're exhausted, nobody's too tired to party.
Well, we have learned our lesson. They used to do that on the night of the last performance, but now we kind of make that its own event.
Push it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Give people time just to do the 3 S's, shower and shave, and the other one.
Yeah.
Now,
Sing.
Sing, exactly. There is one thing I did want to mention, and I've gotten the opportunity to tour the backstage area. The Roswell Community Little Theater owns some of the best props I've ever seen, and I mean like a warehouse of everything. You go back into a whole world of wigs in just one room, you know, or Victorian furniture in one corner, and a whole slew of mirrors, and just all the great set pieces that you guys have. Now, for this play, when you commission the play, or when you buy the script, does it also come with the specific set pieces, like the paintings, for example? So those are all.
No. Yeah. So I mean, we have to come up with everything. The coffin. I had to build that coffin.
Really?
Yeah.
I was looking. I was like, I don't know if you can fit in that.
Yeah. Well, you know, that was one of the things, is that, you know, we probably could have got one someplace, but it would have been a full size coffin.
Right.
And it might have blocked the views, so you have to kind of scale things down.
For
But
blocking purposes.
yeah, and you kind of saw how the set changes from the first act to the second act. That's all. You know, that's stuff when she picks out a play, or when any of the directors at the theater, you pick out a play, that's one of the considerations, is how are we going to fit this on our stage? Who's going to pay for the props? Who's going to pay for this? And it's crazy because we have in our costume department probably well over 10,000 pieces of clothing, and every single play I've been involved in, you got to go out and find clothes. You know, it's just like you could never find what you need in that size. So that's how that stuff accumulates. And just, you know, every play that we've done, it seems like there's something that you have to build or acquire that ends up back there on the shelf, and then you think to yourself, oh yeah, if I need a globe, there's one back there from that play 4 years ago, or like I love going back there and seeing the Christmas story leg lamps that are back there from when they did a Christmas story.
Y'all should have just like a random weird yard sale one of these days. Just like sell off a bunch of wigs.
Yeah. Here just a couple weeks ago, we were very fortunate, is somebody had a bunch of old taxidermy that they were going to have to get rid of. And I guess you can't sell some of these things because of wildlife regulations. And so they donated a bunch of stuff to us. And it's great because, like, her mom's play takes place at a fishing cabin. So now we've got some deer heads and some stuffed fish and stuff. So I've always said that, or usually try to say this when I come on the air, is if you have something cool, unique, or whatever, let's say you have something that's damaged, that has one good side, couch got torn up or whatever, the dog's destroyed it, but it's got a side that could face an audience. Give us a call. We need it. We'll take it. Or anything that's unique. I mean, it's a couple of years ago we had to come up with bagpipes, or I mean, just there's always crazy things that we need. And you know, part of the job of the director is Gina and I, for weeks, we're going out and hitting garage sales every week, just trying to think of, like, oh, this might work for this character, this little piece of this, or so it's a process, and everybody is involved, getting their own costumes. Bev, who unfortunately was ill, but man, she worked her butt off getting costumes, and sometimes people buy stuff that comes out of your own pocket. I mean, there's a budget for this play, but it doesn't even cover really the cost of the paint for the most part. So everything you're doing, but yeah, we had to purchase those paintings, or I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, we had to manufacture those, and those are our authentic representations of the Miets. Yeah, that's part of the thing is you want to make sure that people feel immersed. Yeah. And sometimes all the paintings her mom is an artist, so we lucked out because we needed 75 canvases, and we knew somebody who had them.
That's awesome.
So but yeah, no, it's a process, and from the time you get a play approved, you're already thinking about what I need as far as sets and props and costumes, and it's an ongoing issue. Yeah,
absolutely. And the costumes in this play, it was very, very immersive. The couch played a pivotal role. I'm surprised Bryce didn't break a toe. But yeah, that's and when you have a cast that knows how to work with their set, when knows how to and of course it all comes down to blocking and obviously a lot of practice. But the interactions with the set, it's all just fantastic.
Yeah, this is one of my first quick changes that I've had. Now, I've been in other plays where, you change costumes between scenes or acts or whatever, but this is one of those ones where I walk off stage at the top of one page and I come back on as a different character on the middle of the next page. So I've got about 2-3 minutes, depending on how fast everybody talks.
Right.
2 or 3 minutes to go change, and that's tough.
So false back?
Well, sometimes people use that. Yeah, I just, I don't want to give too much away.
Yeah,
but,
you don't want to reveal too much of how the sausage is made.
But no, it just, the first time that we kind of really put the play together and it was going smooth without people having to read off book, that's when I realized, oh my gosh, I've got very little time.
Right.
when you're rehearsing, everybody's kind of like taking their time, and you're like, oh yeah, I can go back there and change. I got 4 or 5 minutes. But during the performance, it's fast.
You're Lady Gaga at that point.
I had that. Well, fortunately, this was during a dress rehearsal, but I had that moment where I'm on the exact opposite side of the backstage area when I hear, oh look, he's here, and I'm supposed to be on the other side of the door. And
which at one point it might have been might have happened opening night. I saw. Was it Chicago's character reach over and knock on the door?
Let's just say things like that have been known to happen from time to time.
I barely noticed it, but I was like, oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
I almost kind of thought it was part of it. But
that's the fun part. Pictures fall off walls and doorknobs tend to, there's always little things that go wrong. And for me, when I go watch shows, that's always the best part, is just seeing how people deal with these little mini crises or little mini emergencies that come up. Or, hey, I've been the person who walks out on stage and you say your first line and then you just forget what country you're in.
Yeah.
You're just like, and having people step up and like, weren't you going to ask me about something? Seeing how people cover for each other, it's really cool.
There was an exchange where he's like, "Are you trying to say, this?" And totally, scooped in and saved the character. So, it's great to see a cast bond. It's great to see people come together, and you're building, friendships that are going to last, from this.
Absolutely.
You've been through the trenches.
Yeah.
It's a collaboration, a team sport, I always say.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. So obviously, second weekend coming up this weekend, Friday and Saturday night, 7:30, Sunday matinee at 2:30. And you can get your tickets at Roswell Theater, theatre.com, or at the door. But don't rely on door tickets because, this might be a sellout show.
We've had some excellent interest, and I think that the word of mouth is getting out about this. That this is one of the shows you want to take a chance to come see if you can.
And again, we've done a really good job of hiding the reveal, but stay off Facebook. Don't worry about those pictures. But trust me, once it happens, it's great.
Yeah,
and it's just a row. At first, we were kind of like, it was chuckle, it was kind of old time humor, and I was enjoying it. As soon as that turn happened, everybody was in.
Yeah,
it was just like I could feel like the whole audience kind of come together as one like symbiotic, creature.
I feel it makes me so happy to hear you say that, because I was coming when we were here last week promoting this. I know I was telling everybody this is one of the funniest shows I've done at the theater. You're going to love this. So it's great to think that and feel like, oh, this has got some legs to it, and then hear that. So I really appreciate that, and thank you for letting us come on. We really appreciate the radio station letting us come on here and yap with you about our stuff.
You guys are an integral part of the community. We definitely want to make sure that we get the word out. Again, the opening or the closing weekend this weekend at the theater for Is He Dead auditions tonight, 6:30 at the Little Theater, 1717 South Union. They are looking for 4 women and 5 men for Farce of Habit, and it's going to be great. If you have the bug, if you were in the audience like I was this weekend, and you thought, maybe me, then jump in, give it a shot, see what happens.
Take a chance.
You're gonna make some great friends and have a great time doing it. So,
what's the worst that could happen? You can get up there in front of the entire town and just forget where you're at.
It's so funny because I do the same thing, because I'm what I like to call an idiot savant. I think I mentioned this earlier today. I'm great at this. I'm not great at like the rest of the world. So when people come in and they're nervous to do my thing, I say, oh, don't worry. It's just thousands of people are going to hear you. It's fine.
Right.
It's not even close to true, but I'll say whatever I have to. Guys, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for keeping us laughing, keeping the humor of the community alive. You guys are doing the Lord's work, as they say, so we appreciate you.
Well,
thank you, Sean.
Hope to see you back this weekend.
I would love to be a part of. And I'm kid free this weekend, so I don't have to deal with a sitter situation.
Nice. All right.
I was. It was really funny because the last legs of the play, I was like, Says, honey, but come on, guys. I have to pay for an extra hour. So get a sitter and make it a date night, because it will definitely be fun for you and for kids of a certain age.
Yeah,
it's not racy by necessarily any stretch. No. But you have to kind of be of a certain humor to appreciate it.
It's Mark Twain humor. It's a little bit more intellectual humor, absolutely. I would say.
Absolutely. But if you're an intellect, you will absolutely have a great night.
But then it's also Mark Twain, so it's also goofy as hell at times. So
absolutely. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you here next time.
Thank you very much, Sean.
Thank you.
Break various legs. Whoops! I turned myself off. 11 minutes away.
The city of Artesia is unveiling a new logo and branding. The city says it worked closely with Red Rocket Media to design the updated logo to symbolize a new and revitalized era in the city's history. The city council unanimously approved the new logo last week. The logo is designed to be used in any color to fit any theme. The city says that denotes the city's diverse and wide range of departments, events, organizations, and especially its citizens. Artesia residents aged 5 and older had the opportunity last week to learn from professional actress Whitney Wegman Wood at the Artesia Arts Council Theater Camp. The Daily Press reports Wegman Wood, who now resides in Albuquerque, is a professionally trained actress and model who holds a master's degree in acting. She has held lead roles in more than a dozen film productions and minor roles in television shows, including an appearance in the well-known series The Vampire Diaries. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
It's upgrade season at Roswell Honda. Pre-owned vehicles are in incredibly high demand, and that means more than ever before for your trade. And with the Roswell Honda upgrade program, they'll go the extra mile for you. They'll buy your vehicle outright, or you can trade up, even if you still owe money on your old vehicle. Upgrade to something new, or take the instant cash. And with 0.9% APR available, lease a 2023 Honda Civic or CR-V for just $259 a month. Now's the time to upgrade and save at Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is closing in on 8 o'clock. Town Hall News up next. Stay tuned next hour. Dr. Sean Powell with the NMUR scheduled to join us. Also the folks from the Chavez County Extension Office at the bottom half of the hour. And then we'll have the folks from American Legion Post 61 join us in the 9 o'clock hour. Town Hall News is up next. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll be back. Do not go away.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Following his latest indictment, former President Trump predicts he will be fully exonerated. The latest indictment comes in Fulton County, Georgia, a 97-page document containing 41 criminal counts, racketeering and conspiracy among the charges. Mr. Trump's campaign calls it bogus, an attempt at election interference. And it's not only the former president named in the indictment, 17 Trump associates have been indicted as well.
It's going to be a very big case, not against just Donald Trump, but against a lot of his closest confidants. And that's something we hadn't seen up until now. We had seen in the classified documents case, Donald Trump and one of his assistants and someone who's a groundskeeper ahead of the Mar-a-Lago estate being indicted along with him. But we hadn't, in those investigations, hadn't seen other people named in that. And now we have. So we see a much larger kind of presentation here.
The BBC's Anthony Zerka. In a curious twist, a document almost identical to the indictment appeared briefly online hours before the grand jury voted last night. No one seems willing or able to explain that. The death toll from the Hawaiian wildfires continues to climb, approaching the century mark. 99 fatalities on Maui have been confirmed by Governor Josh Green. Searchers continue their work in the massive debris fields on the island. Despite higher prices, along with higher interest rates, Americans stepped up their spending by more than expected last month. Spending rose 0.7% from June. In the month of June, spending was up by 0.3%. A plea hearing scheduled today in Newport News, Virginia. The mother of a 6-year-old who shot and wounded his teacher is expected to plead guilty. On Wall Street, the Dow down 207 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Do you like pricking your fingers to test your blood sugar levels? No one does, but it's important to maintain your health. And now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you don't need to prick your fingers anymore. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now. And if you have Medicare or most major insurance coverage, you may be able to get a new CGM at little to no out-of-pocket cost. Shipping is free, and we'll even bill your insurance company for you. If you are testing your blood sugar 3 or more times daily, injecting insulin, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now to learn how to end the painful finger sticks and get your own continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, at little to no out-of-pocket cost.
Named point man on aid to Afghanistan is warning of a looming humanitarian crisis in the Taliban-run country.
Afghanistan used to be the top priority for donors. Now the United Nations appeal is only a quarter funded. The UN's Daniel Endres admitted that Taliban restrictions, including stopping girls from going to high school and barring women from working with aid agencies, is causing donors to turn away. He said the UN was still finding ways to deliver desperately needed help. But he warned funding for major hospitals is due to run out later this month, putting the health system at risk of total collapse.
The BBC's Lise Doucette. Russian officials say a massive explosion at a gas station in southern Russia has killed 30 people, injured scores more. Apparently started in a car repair shop and then spread to the gas station. News and analysis, townhall.com. A Kansas police department and a small-town newspaper at the center of a First Amendment fight.
Officials with the Marion, Kansas Police Department confiscated computers and cell phones from the publisher and staff of the Marion County Record in the Friday raid. The police searches were apparently prompted by a complaint from a local restaurant owner who accused the newspaper of invading her privacy after it obtained copies of her driving record, which included a 2008 conviction for drunk driving. Publisher and co-owner Eric Meyer.
This is the type of stuff that, Vladimir Putin does, that third world dictators do.
Police say the raid was legal and part of a criminal probe, not political. The Kansas small-town dispute has sparked a national whirlwind of condemnation by press freedom watchdogs. I'm Norman Hall.
Japanese Prime Minister Kishida has renewed a peace pledge as Japan observes the 78th anniversary of its World War II defeat. More of these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The Tabaluchin, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to our number 2.
They call it the Deuce.
Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday.
Yes, sir.
Feels like my Monday, but it is Tuesday.
It's always the best because you can come back and be like, it's my Monday.
Yeah.
Then your Wednesday is all of our Wednesday.
Yeah.
And then Thursday is Thursday and Friday. So it's almost like you get that kind of just compact feel.
Yeah.
Friday gets here before you know it.
My only mistake was I didn't realize that this was football week already. Like, I was thinking I had another week or two, because usually football usually starts like in the 20-something, not teen-something of August. You know?
Everything feels like it's starting earlier this year.
Yeah. So basically now I just kind of set myself up for doing a bunch of work and took away a day to do it for me. So this week will be a little crazy.
It'll be a nice fun packed week. But yeah, your Goddard Rockets, Roswell Coyotes, and Artesia Bulldogs all in action this Friday night.
Yeah, Coyotes on the road. Rockets are at the Wool Bowl
taking on Santee,
and Artesia heads to Carlsbad, if I remember right.
Battle for Eddy County.
Yeah.
Pre-game 6:30, kickoff at 7 o'clock. You can hear those games across all of our stations. 106.5 for your Coyotes, 106.1 Fiero FM for your Goddard Rockets, and AM 990 and 93.7 FM KSVP for your Artesia Bulldogs, and of course video stream online at ksvptv.com.
Yes, I think this week we will have all three games on video. There's no issues.
Nope. Carlsbad's letting us come out.
Yeah, Carlsbad's cool, and so is who's Roswell going to?
Lovington.
Thank you.
Wildcats.
I just had a complete brain cramp there.
They're good there. And we already checked with the folks at the Wool Bowl. They're okay with us coming out. And
Yes, we're good there.
Right, of course.
We're good
we
there.
own that place. What are you talking about?
So we'll definitely have all three on video this weekend. And the reason I say that is when we head north, we start creeping into ProView territory.
Yes, we do.
And really, since COVID, they've gotten very territorial. Like back in the day, even when ProView was there, we could kind of still get, you can have this little corner over here.
Well, we'll give you a
But now that ProViews, now we creep into Albuquerque, or not even so much Albuquerque anymore, but other like Clovis,
Los Lunas,
places like that. ProView's there, and they get a little salty when we're there, so they kind of lock us out. So some of those games will go up north. We might have some video issues with, but we'll do our best.
As long as
we
can carry it, we will carry it.
Yeah, we've been working with ADs and all that, and we reach out and try to get far out. But there's always a few cities, towns we know. Okay, we don't have good relationships there, and they're not going to be very helpful to us on some of those things.
Speaking of, I gotta get with. We'll talk about it with you.
But so that's and because it's the first week, this is the week that we got it, because we got to really create like the opens.
You have to make the supply the foundation.
Yeah.
Once we get that in place, the rest of the weeks kind of are a little easier.
Yeah, so we get plug and play after this week, but we're kind of establishing everything this week, and plus, like salespeople are still locking down sports sponsors and things.
That's what I need to get the lists.
Yeah, once the sports season starts, I mean, sure, we get a change here and there of a business or someone comes in or comes out, but we try to get our sports set up, because they when you sponsor sports with the Pecos Valley Broadcasting family, you sponsor all of the sports.
That's right. So, we get you across all of our.
And what I mean by that is sports. So if
broadcast.
you sponsor the Coyotes or the Bulldogs or the Rockets, you will get Rocket basketball, Rocket football, Rocket volleyball, soccer, all the stuff we do. So, granted, most people want it for the football because, let's face it, our football viewers are way higher than any other sport in high school sports, and that's just the nature of sports in general. I mean,
Weirdly,
a lot of people watching football games than they are volleyball games.
It goes just high school football, livestock auction, high school basketball,
and away at the bottom, mornings with Mike Winter.
That's right. Hey, but we made the list, all right? That's like
thanks to people like Grace, we made the list.
The whole crowd around the list for the cast for the play, and you finally get in, you're like, understudy.
Yeah.
I made the list.
So you're saying there's a chance. Yeah, but thanks to fine listeners like Grace, we barely make the who loyally watches every day.
Yes, so. And we appreciate you, Grace. I just thought you meant by the grace of God. No, by the grace of grace.
You know, there's a movie from the 80s that I loved as a kid that I don't think you can watch anywhere to this day, but HBO showed it ad nauseum in the early to mid 80s.
Okay.
And it was a movie called Amazing Grace and Chuck.
Amazing Grace and Chuck?
Yes.
I've never heard of this movie.
Love this movie. It's not an action movie.
Well, I can't imagine.
Amazing Grace is a NBA basketball player. Think of someone like Dr. J, someone like that. And I can't remember the deal, but the kid...
Average American boy, Chuck Murdoch.
Yeah, Chuck.
Goes on a school outing to a nuclear weapons facility where he learns about the destructive power that sits at the fingertips of the military. Knowing that the world could end with the push of a button, he protests against nuclear war by walking out on his Little League team during a game. That'll show him.
Yeah. See, the movie doesn't hold up because it was during the Cold War era.
Yeah.
But as a kid, I loved this movie.
Chuck's stunt ends up in the local paper as the story snowballs. Basketball star Amazing Grace Smith, Alex English, decides to boycott sports too.
Yeah, and so
I wonder if this is based on a true story.
I don't know, but like the kid Chuck, they live in a flyover state in the middle of nowhere. I don't remember what state it is.
Uh-huh.
And the only reason I say that is because Chuck ends up he has they have farmland, the family, so they live out on a ranch or a farm or something.
Mm-hmm.
And so Chuck comes out and lives with the kid, and it turns into a whole movement where other pro athletes all start living out in this field on the parents' property with Chuck. And so that's why I mention it, because it's relevant. Because first it's Amazing Grace, and then like a star NFL player is like, I like what you guys are doing. And they start a movement. And so so the movies, I don't know if it's true. I don't think it is. I think it's just a wishful thinking type movie. But it was during the time where people like no more nukes and the Cold War, and so it doesn't hold up because the Cold War's over.
The Cold War's over.
Right.
I mean, let's face it, we're still basically nukes. In the exact same peril we were in 1987. It's just we're not all tense.
Yes and no.
More people have access to
I know
the
this is going to be stupid, but at the time of the height of the Cold War, like the United States could blow up the world like 20 times over, and the Russians about the same. After all that, now they can only blow it up like 6 times over.
Right.
That makes sense.
It does. Yeah, we only have some of the death that we used to have, but we still have a lot of the death. Yeah. I'm saying we all have our fingers on the button. We're just not, all tense with each other. I mean, we're pretty tense. We just, show it through memes now.
Now it's just and warfare's changed in my life and all of our lives. It's kind of, you look at our history and you look at World War I and World War II, and you're fighting a country and you're fighting, these Kuwaiti wars, Gulf Wars, Afghanistan, Vietnam. These wars are different.
Yeah.
These aren't technically, yes, they're sovereign nations, but you're really fighting militia groups.
But we're also all kind of like eyeballing what's the thing that's going to set one of these local skirmishes into World War III.
Right, but the rules have changed. That's what I mean.
Sure.
Like World War I and II, and I'm not saying you knew the combatants in some, but there was a lot less of a little baby running at you with a bomb strapped to the back in those wars prior to Vietnam.
Right.
I'm not saying those weird or horrible things didn't happen, because war is hell, and there's some heinous stuff that goes on in war. Go look up World War II and look about chemical warfare, and you'll see some nastiness there. But at least you had like a sovereign, you know what I mean? It was different. And now it's like you see, Vietnam changed all that. And certainly when you see some of the wars in Afghanistan and Kuwait and the Middle East, they're closer to the Vietnam style than World War
guerrilla style
II
warfare.
Style, and it's, well, to be honest, how do you think we won our war, the American Revolution? Back then, the British were playing by the war rules, Napoleonic era, predating Napoleon. Napoleon came a little later, but same style of tactics and lining up, getting 100 guys shoulder to shoulder to basically create a barrage of lead, that kind of thing. And this is where it gets interesting, because by the time you get to the Civil War, I know I
didn't even do the thing. I didn't even do the thing. Is what I was going to say. Go ahead.
But by the time they got to the Civil War, they were still using tactics like Revolutionary War. By that point, they were inventing rifles. Prior to that, they're shooting muskets. They're smooth bore. They're, the bullets, the musket balls don't have the velocity nor the accuracy that a rifled bullet does. And by the time the Civil War started, they had rifled bullets.
Right.
And a musket ball that went several hundred yards can do some damage, kind of.
Right.
Changed to a rifle bullet that you could go dang near a mile and shoot accurately.
Right.
And,
Basically, the goalposts continue to change, and we change with it.
They're still lining up guys side by side,
Right.
like people with rifles instead of musket balls, and that's a whole, that's all. And then by the end of the Civil War, like if you look at the beginning of the Civil War, they're fighting like Napoleon in the Revolutionary War. By the end of the Civil War, Petersburg, it's trench warfare, sieges, more like you saw in World War I. Automatic guns were available in the form of a Gatling gun by the time of the Civil War, but they really didn't come on the scene till the 1880s and some of the fighting in the West and all that. Civil War predominantly didn't have a lot of that. So, is Dr. Powell here?
Oh, just right when you started, I was going to get the truth is marching.
Is that Dr. Powell?
It's the extension office.
Oh, for the extension office? Okay, cool.
Yeah, but I think all we're really trying to say is high school football this Friday.
Yes.
Is all we were really trying to.
Yeah, I get sidetracked.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't even do the thing. Usually when it's like, you.
How did I get there, by the way?
Oh, I can walk us down that path. It was ksvptv.com. Here's the rankings, high school football, yada, yada, all the way down at the bottom, Mornings with Mike Winters, which is saved by grace.
Amazing Grace and Chuck.
Amazing Grace and Chuck.
War, Civil War, bada bing, bada.
That's impressive. That was that Susan Sarandon, all the numbers flying at me meme. That's not Susan Sarandon. I don't know why I said that. Julia.
That's
whatever her name is.
Spot on. I just, as soon as you say, because I'm like, wait a minute, how did I even get here? And then when you say, oh yeah, okay, now I get it.
And you may find yourself asking, how did I get here?
That's half my day. That is half my day. People get me wound up and I'm easy to wind up.
I'm over there, I know. I know.
Easy to wind up.
I had to come in the other day and tell Roy, Roy, stop it. Let him work. Stop triggering the bear.
I'm that Ron Burgundy. It's like, if you put it in front of him, he won't read it. I'm that guy.
Yep.
And if you come at me and engage me in a conversation, I will engage back.
Right.
To the detriment of my workload and everything else I'm supposed to do. People are like, hey, aren't you? I was like, yeah, I'm sorry. Roy got me talking about communism for 20 minutes.
In fairness, you do work for a guy who's like, we need to get this, and this done. But I have time for a 45-minute conversation.
Yeah, apple tree. I didn't roll up too far from that tree there. So
I'm slowly but surely honing my gene, by the way, my gene impression.
Well, and here's the odd part, if you knew me at all. My dad... I used to despise how my dad dealt with society. Like, he was that guy that would talk to everybody. He's very personable. He's a nice guy. But he says dumb things and he ends up burning bridges. But at first, he's very talky and very nice.
Sure.
But it's to the point where you're like, dude, you're just talking to talk at this. Like, we could be in a room watching TV and we're all watching a movie. He can't sit there in silence. He's got to chime in. So he's got to bring up something either about the movie or not about the movie, or he just has to hear noise because he can't sit silently in a room for any period of time.
I'm not that guy by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not that guy, but I am the guy that when I'm sitting in a quiet room and we're watching something, I'm the guy that's going to be that nobody wants to watch TV or movies with because I shout stupid, funny things out and ruin the experience.
Yeah. Like, my wife called me out so bad one time. She ain't wrong. She nailed it. It was funny. And I didn't hide it because I'm like, yeah, at this point, I just do this because I've been doing this for 30 years. And it was one of these times where Kim and I are going back east to visit Dad and everything. And my parents were divorced at this, but pretty much my whole married life, before my parents passed away. They got divorced like a year after I got married. They were already kind of on the outs. So they stayed married through my brother and I. And then when everyone left the house,
that was the finish line.
Yeah, they got sick. I think they put up with each other for many years.
You guys were the buffer.
Yeah. And so by the time we got married, they were kind of separated and living, a little bit different. But anyway, my dad, we went to visit, and it was just my dad. Kim and I went to visit Dad. We were going to go see Mom later, and so we're at Dad's house, and we're all watching TV, and I think Jeopardy is on. And so it's me, Kim, and Dad. And Dad's just yammering. He yammers. I'm trying to watch Jeopardy. I'm actually like kind of nosy and curious about the questions.
Right.
Because I'm tired of hearing story number 37 from my father. So I'm sitting here in the living room. Kim's sitting in the living room. She's nicely placating to Dad, just yammering about whatever Dad's yammering about. Not even listening. I tune him out. I got trained. And and poor Kim's trying to listen and be polite, and finally I just yell, California! She's like, what? He's in the middle of talking. And it was the answer to the Jeopardy question.
Oh, but you got it wrong. She didn't put it in the form of a question.
I might have said, what is California?
All right.
But either way, I blurted out something.
What is medulla oblongata?
And that was the point, Gibson. Were you even listening when he said, what? Y'all were talking? I didn't even pay attention. Dad was like butthurt because he was about to hit the punchline of his amazing story he thought he had, and I just, California!
You blocked your dad out like I blocked my son out.
Yeah. And so that was the moment where my wife realized that how I was like, and that's what I told her. Like I said, it's not, she goes, you're kind of rude. I said, no, Dad doesn't know when to shut up. And he doesn't take hints. He doesn't like, dude, we're trying to watch a show here. We're trying to, can you please be a little more polite? He doesn't get that. So you got to be brutally blunt with him and just be like, will you shut the hell up? Because no one is caring what you're saying right now. We care about what's this. And then he gets butthurt and then storms off. So we just let him yammer and we just tune him out. That's how we work.
Two modes, either mile a minute talking or sad sack.
Yeah, so 8:22. Let's do this. Let's do the weather and all that, and then we've got the folks from the Extension Office. Ooh, I made Roy run. And we got the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office join us here. But first, here's your weather. Unfortunately, I have no... okay, you want something positive? Next Monday, it's supposed to be 97, not 100.
It's only supposed to be 94 today, right?
Right, but then after today, it's back to 100.
Okay.
So
enjoy today.
Enjoy today. No rain with it, though. 8:23, here's your weather, allegedly.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny with a few clouds early today, and then mostly sunny for this afternoon. We'll stay in the mid-90s on today's high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds. Our lows in the upper 60s to low 70s, and then we heat up a little bit on Wednesday. Sunshine across the area, upper 90s to low 100s. We do have a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm by Thursday afternoon. Highs in the low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Helps when you hit the button. When you press down the board and you miss the button, it doesn't work, but you got to hit the button. That's radio tip 102. All right, currently 72 here in Roswell. Humidity is at 50%. Winds are calm at the moment. Sunny today, 94, as Sean mentioned. Sub 100 today for the second day in a row. I know. Like I was last night, the news came on because that's what we watch at 5 o'clock at night in our house. And they did the weather, and they were like, Roswell, you never reached 90. You're only at 91 or whatever they said. And it was like 6 o'clock at night. And I was like, wow, this is what that feels like. But anyway, day 2 of not 100 today, 94. Tonight, partly cloudy, overnight low 70, south winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow we'll be back over 100, sunny, hot, 102 for a high. South winds 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low 72. Mostly sunny on Thursday with a high of 103. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. For Friday, sunny and hot, 102. Mostly clear and 70 for an overnight low Friday night. So should be good night wherever you're going to watch your football, whether you're heading down to Carlsbad or to Lovington or going to be at the Wool Bowl here on Friday. Weather should be fine for that. And then looking at the weekend, sunny and 101 here in Roswell for Saturday. Sunny and 100 on Sunday, and then 98, sub 100 again for 1 week from next Monday. All right, it is 8:25. Let's do this. Let's take a quick 3.5-minute commercial break, and then we got the folks from the Chaves County Extension Office on the out in the lobby waiting, so we'll talk to them. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
A good night's sleep is so important, and issues like sleep apnea make falling asleep and staying asleep nearly impossible, but we can help. I'm Dr. Sarah Usher at Carabelli Dental. With the help of a simple oral appliance, your sleepless nights could be a thing of the past. But don't take my word for it, just ask Lainey.
My name is Lainey Smith. I wasn't surprised when I found out I had sleep apnea simply because I had a horrible sleep pattern. I attempted to use the machine and it drove me nuts and I could not sleep with it. And then that's when Dr. Agar told me about the oral appliance. I would suspect I've been using it for 2 years now. In all of that time, I've had less than 10 poor nights of sleep. It's a complete game changer. I feel a lot better because I sleep.
This simple appliance can change your life. Call us today to set up your appointment so you can finally get the good night's sleep you need.
Come see the team at Carabelli Dental at the corner of 9th and Main in Roswell, or call 575-622-4455.
Most of the problems that people have with plants comes down to basic farm management. That means knowing what to plant and when to plant it. Hi, this is Jim Gill from Roswell Seed Company. Planting at the wrong time usually leads to disappointment and heartache, sort of like your first love. But planting at the right moment puts Mother Nature on your side, and that makes growing things easier and a whole lot more fun. So before you plant anything, come to see us at Roswell Seed. Or just give it a try and hope for the best. It gives me a chance to say, I told you so.
Hi everyone, this is Melanie from Glenn's Furniture. When was the last time you looked forward to sleep? Let's be honest here, you know a restful night's sleep has more health benefits than you consciously think about during the day. Here at Glenn's, we carry Serta mattresses, and they've been in the business for more than 90 years. Choosing one can be hard, but I want you to know we have your back. Come see us at Glenn's on the corner of Union and Alameda in Roswell, where delivery is free since 1953.
New Mexico can be safer, and we can protect our loved ones from gun-related injuries when we lock up our guns. New Mexico has one of the highest rates of gun violence in the country, with numbers nearly 2 times higher than the national average. But safe gun storage is a proven strategy that reduces gun violence in all our communities. Protect New Mexico by securing your firearms. Visit safestoragenm.org to learn more. Brought to you by the New Mexico Department of Health.
Let's face it, guys, we're living in times where the truth is becoming more suppressed and censorship is increasing at an alarming rate, especially on social media platforms. It's Clyde, and I want to tell you about a safe and secure digital playground we put together just for you. It's aftermath.media. You get access to thousands of Ground Zero archives and podcasts, along with our private social media groups with your basic membership starting at only $7 a month. Each subscription includes tech support, access to the RSS feeds, along with our own chat room and Telegram channel. In addition, the premium membership includes research study groups, webinars, a document and movie library, a live video stream of Ground Zero, a monthly Zoom chat with me, and other bonus content. Be sure to check out our yearly specials as well. Sign up today while you're thinking about it. Sign up at aftermath.media. Again, that's aftermath.media.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. The U.S. Treasury once considered producing donut-shaped coins. They instead decided to go with coin-shaped donuts. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 29 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chavez County Extension Office, Drew and Tamara back with us. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are y'all doing today?
Oh, doing great. Hopefully everybody's enjoying this nice cold front. I think we're only hitting a high of 99 this week.
I was about to say, enjoy the fact that we're not
solid.
quite... one more day of sub 100, and then I was looking, I think, one Monday, I think 97 again. So enjoy your 94 today. And what did we get, 91 or whatever it was yesterday?
Oh, it was a beautiful day.
I guess it rained somewhere yesterday. I didn't see any.
I'm pretty sure Moses' staff is somewhere around my house. It's avoiding me like the plague. So.
Well, and I noticed when I was coming to work this morning, like I didn't see any by my house, but as I was driving towards downtown here, right around College, I was seeing big puddles on the highway, like at the intersections. I was seeing this was at 6 a.m. I'm
maybe
sure
they
they're
had
all
a water
gone
break
by now. But I don't know, maybe someone just turned on a fire hydrant or something, let it run. But there was good puddles. I was like, oh, maybe it rained last night somewhere. I didn't see that. But,
whoever's listening right now, I hope it rained at your house.
I hope so too. So and we'll tease some more later. Anyway. I'm wondering now, because the first round of fairs are kind of done. Now we're kind of turning your attention to State Fair and Eastern New Mexico State Fair.
Yes.
Is there a calm in the storm, or is it all just from one to the other here?
It's just reorganize and prepare for the next run.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
So as far as county fairs in this area, we're pretty much wrapped up for now.
Yeah. So
I think Lee County finished theirs up last week, and I think everybody's kind of done in the area now.
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't looked too hard at all the other counties, but I'm pretty sure majority of the fairs are done.
Yeah.
Because
they got to get ready for state, which will start here, right around 1st of September.
That first weekend is when junior shows start and the exhibits go in and
I'm
stuff
starting
like
to
that.
see some enjoy them. I find them slightly cheesy. State Fair commercials. Literally cheesy. There's cheese in some of them. But anyway. But they are kind of funny. They're memorable. They do a great job. But I just remember they're always a little off kilter. They're like, I get you're being humorous, but I don't think everybody finds that funny. That might be a certain niche thing. But anyway. Just curious, do you see a lot of kids from Chaves County? I mean, I know most of them do their stuff here at the Eastern or at the Chaves County Fair, but do we get quite a few kids from Chaves County in 4-H and FFA even? I know that's not really your area, but we do. A lot of kids get sent up to Albuquerque for that?
We do, and it seems to be a lot of the same families that tend to go that have experience with it. It can kind of be a daunting task for the first time going up there with an animal and showing, but we're seeing a lot of families from Chaves County take some animals up to the state fair and show and do well, and so we hope that we see even more participate and interest in it.
Absolutely,
and we're working towards that.
And I have a question because I didn't grow up in the livestock world, so I never showed animals, and so I don't know how this works. When we get to fair season here, and generally, the kids will auction off the animals at the end of the fair. If they're younger, it's seed money for their next project. If they're seniors or juniors, it generally goes towards college funds.
Yeah.
So when they get to that age, when they're juniors and seniors, do they kind of pick what auction they're going? Like, do they say they come from here? Can they choose to say, well, I'm going to keep it through the Chaves and because I'm going to sell it at the Eastern? So will they show it in the Chaves and the State Fair, and then in the Eastern to then sell it? Or what determines whether they sell at the Chaves County Fair or the Eastern or the State Fair?
A lot of that is going to be depending on how well they show at the county fair. So if they enter,
so basically how they gamble based on where they're going to sell it.
Yes, because the sale is all based on placement, and so if you get first place in a class, depending on the animal too, because with each animal there is a slotted amount of positions in each sale.
Okay.
And so with county fair, there's so many slots for meat goats, there's so many slots for steers, there's so many slots for...
So it's an invite to be a part of the auction.
But it's an invite based on how they did during the actual competition when they're showcasing their animal, and then they're judged based on the judge on the quality of their animal, and then they'll enter the sale on that point. Grand and reserve will always be in the sale.
Gotcha. Which they won for a reason.
Yes, yes.
But then I'm guessing probably the first place in each class will probably get an invite too.
Again, depending on the animal class that they're in as well. But a lot of them, yes. And then they can decide if they didn't make grand or reserve to pull that animal. And then it brings up the next person in that class.
Okay, so if you're grand or reserve, you've got to sell at that auction.
Yeah.
If anything, if you win but didn't win those, you can say no thanks or thanks.
Yes, because you could have a first place in your class but not get grand or reserve and say this is a high quality animal. It just needs a couple more months of feed and training, and then it's going to be
the logic is
ready to sell for the. Maybe a bigger sell at Eastern or at
so the logic is
like
at the Chaves County Fair, hey, I won first place, but if I show this at the Eastern, I bet I can get reserve or grand champion.
I might be able to get.
I'm going to hold out.
So it's a gamble, right? It's a gamble because now
in theory it's more money if it's a grand or reserve champion.
Potentially, yeah. And then the other, gamble on that side of things is you're bringing in a lot more counties. So now Eastern, you have
competition's
youth
different,
from all over the state that are bringing animals in. So it's changing the competition dynamic a little bit as well.
Well, and I would argue, and this is where I know but I don't know, when you're at your local auction, like your county, like if you're from Chaves County, at your Chaves County auction, or you're Eddy County and you go to the Eddy, I know that they bump the numbers and rub the numbers because they want to help these kids out.
Yes.
I'm guessing there is some of that goes on at state level, but it's not nearly because it's a lot more people, a lot more. So it's not like, I've known Bobby Sue for 50 years. I'm going to make sure Bobby Sue gets a good win here, and I'm gonna throw in an extra few hundred or a few thousand to make sure that they got enough money. Whereas at the state fair, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's not as frequent as it would be at, say, the Chaves County Fair or even the Eastern New Mexico State Fair, where it's a lot of locals.
Well, and it does depend on what county you're from, and we've got some great supporters here in Chaves County that make sure our youth are taken care of, and so the amounts that the cells bring in very much depend upon what county you're in.
So I'm thinking if you're like saying, well, this animal's really not reserve champion material to any level. Let's see if we can come here and auction off the Chaves County, and we can get a few $100s more because people are just, they treat their locals a little bit different than they do others.
They do. We really are blessed by the community that we have here in Chaves County.
And it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And here's another part which I really haven't shared, but I think most people know that frequent these. Usually there's always a child that either has gone through a lot or has a family that maybe, each year is different. A family member dies or a house burns down or something. Something usually bad happens to that individual or the family. That's where the locals like, oh, that's the Smith family. They do great stuff. We're going to make sure that we take they're very humble and won't accept our money, so we're going to take care of them this way. Yes. You know what I mean? Yes. That's how we do. Yes. And that's because that's Southern living. That's farming and ranching. You don't like to be relying on other people, but we all want to help each other because that's what we are. And so the people are like, no, I'm not going to take your check. Oh yeah, well now you're gonna because I just bought your pig.
No, that's true. You really do see this community come out and rally behind people and rally behind the youth and really reward them for the hard work that they put forth.
Yeah, so that's to me that's my favorite part of the fair. That's why these livestock shows and everything. It's not because we want to see a sweet looking cow. People are going, man, that cow's they're not looking at, I can't wait to eat that, or I can't wait to, that's not what it's about. It's about the kids and the people. Yes. The cows and the pigs and all that, they kind of come and go, but these kids, these are the future. You look at, I guarantee you look at your major players that own farmers and ranches throughout the entire state. I guarantee you saw them 20, 30, 40, depending on, their age. Right. They were sitting in a rodeo ring somewhere with a pig or a chicken or a cow or all of the above. Yep. And that's where it starts. So when you look at some of our family dairies out here that are staple iconic, I guarantee all of those people running those dairies spent time showing animals and doing, learning the business and doing it. And so that's what, the kids we're seeing today, 10, 20 years from now, they're going to be the ones running these farms, these ranches. They're going to be the ones that are your mayors, your county commissioners. Who knows? Your governor, your state reps.
I tell people, if you want to renew your faith in humanity, come watch some of these kids.
And I say that every time because, every one of these kids, whether it's FFA, 4-H, doesn't matter. Any one of them, they come at you and they just talk, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. You ask, like, as a radio guy, I ask kids questions, and you get some kids, hey, what's your favorite thing? Pizza. Anything else? Nope. You talk to a 4-H kid, or you talk to a FFA, or any kids showing animals, hey, what's your favorite animal? I like pigs because pigs do this, and they go down to the thing, and yes, sir, I like to talk about, you know what I mean? It's they give you thought-provoking answers, and this is why we always want to, encourage kids to go to 4-H, even if they have no, like, cow, what? We don't farm? No, I don't even own a pair of boots. What are you talking about?
So, and it's not all about farm.
Yeah, and that's what
we've got kids that are taking about 200 exhibits up to State Fair this year. In the indoor stuff.
Good deal.
And so that is a nice thing. But you'll see that we've got great supporters here in Chaves County. And when it comes to the sale, it's not just the community. You will see some of these 4-H kids giving their money back to give the next 4-H generation a boost up.
And that's something I was kind of curious about, too, because if you go into the Arts and Crafts building, which you should at every fair, that's where the real cool treasures are. Some of the art you can buy, like I've seen in the years where you walk in and they're like, hey. And obviously that's something between the artist and the person buying it. You guys don't see that money. You'll serve as a conduit and say, yeah, I can get you in touch with the artist to help with that. But like, what determines all of that? Is it just like the livestock shows where if you get placed in a certain category, you put it up for auction, or I mean, how does all that, or is it strictly
so that's kind of
privately done?
That's going to depend on kind of what fairs you come to. So the Chaves County Fair is kind of unique in that because we have Eastern, we don't take open exhibits and things like that. And so you see a lot of those open exhibits at Eastern Fair. At
Eastern, not at the Chaves
Right,
County. Okay.
and some of the other county shows that are going around. The way it works at the Chaves County Fair, and for most 4-H fairs that are strictly 4-H exhibits, going to county fair is what qualifies you to go to state or Eastern Fair.
Okay, so if you place there, then you get to show it at the next level.
Yes. So if you enter your leathercraft board at county fair and it gets first, that's what qualifies it to go to state fair.
Okay.
So state fair is only accepting first places from across the state. So we've got a couple of hundred going up this next month from the kids that are here.
But do you see like you do on the livestock side where someone will be like, that kid did a really good job, I'm going to play way more than it's actually worth for that piece of art just to help the kid? I mean, is that
so ours don't auction off.
Okay.
They do get paid a premium for entering because we've got, like I said, great supporters here in Chaves County. So they do get some premium money for those exhibits, but they don't get auction off. Now, you'll run into some counties where they may have a best of show cake or something like that that's been entered into the indoor exhibits, and then that is then auctioned off like the livestock and the livestock sell.
In theory, do the participants make a second cake because?
Yes.
Because you have the judges have to eat the product to determine, and they don't like, well, here's your cake. Oh, it's missing a piece because the judges ate it.
or it melted out sitting there all week. Yeah.
And then so-and-so put his finger in it, but they,
hey, that wasn't my fingerprint.
Right. Print it. Okay, because I see that sometimes, or like I've gone, and now that you say it, I think it is probably Eastern where you're like people like have sold things and stuff. So it's kind of done that way. If they want to help a kid, it's like, hey, or people love the art, and it's like, that's just it. The artwork is beautiful, and I'm telling you, you look at something very elaborate, you think, oh, that must have been an adult, and you look at someone that was 9 that painted it, and you're like, wow, that's amazing.
There was one piece this year that I really enjoyed was a young man had covered his Bible with a leather-bound cover that he had created, and I liked it so much. I'm actually getting my wife's Bible, and I asked him, how much are you going to charge me if I bring a Bible over to you to recover? Because my wife has worn out the cover.
Sure. Well, if you travel with it and take it everywhere you go, it's kind of like, and I don't know if they still do this. I think you guys are old enough to remember this. Back like in school, like you get your textbooks and everything, like back in the day, kids, they didn't used to give us plastic bags at the grocery store. They gave us paper bags, big brown paper bags.
Come on.
And so your first week of school, every time you got your textbooks, you're at home making the paper book covers out of the bag and out of your bags from the grocery store. And I don't think that's a thing anymore, is it? Like, no one covers their books, do they?
I only taught for 2 years, but all the kids came in with these like squishy little scrunchy book covers.
So you buy them like phone cases or something now? Is that kind of like how they work?
Wrapped around real easily, and I'm looking at it going, what about a paper bag?
Dude, those were the best things to do
but I think
when
the
we were in
problem
school.
is you can't get those paper bags as easily anymore. Because we all had them we all had either you or your grandma had a behind the fridge or somewhere in the pantry or something, a sack with about 30 to 50 of those bags at any given time.
That was about the only time of the year those bags reduced in price, right? Like they always just kept stacking up. We're always like, we're going to reuse this for something. It's that
well,
or
the plastic ones
right?
nowadays, they're reserved for mostly when the cat has an accident or pukes or something. That's kind of what they're reserved for now. On occasion, I'm like, hey, I want to take a couple sodas to work. I don't have an attaché case or nothing, so I'm grabbing this Lawrence Brothers. I got a few in there. I was like, Lawrence Brothers? I haven't had it. I go to the bag lady. I'm like, Lawrence Brothers? They haven't been around for years.
All right, so we need to have some workshops on how to reuse these plastic bags at the stores.
I swear to God, like a week ago, I pulled one out. I was like, Lawrence Brothers? Anyway, but now we're getting to, because now, and here's the cool part. If hopefully you guys can make a chance, maybe go out to the state fair. I've never been myself, but one year I want to go and just see it because I see it on TV and I'm like, hey, it looks like something worth checking out. I've never been to the state fair. So, but it's coming up, and of course we'll have a group of kids from Chaves County that are going to be there competing, and you can go and root them on and do all that. I don't know, do they Can you watch livestock shows at this? Like, I didn't know if they had technology. I figured they did.
Yeah.
They don't let us do it. I know we do it. So I was like, do they do something like that up there too? And you don't. It is surprising how many people watch the livestock shows. It is it's people, because people are like, really? I'm like, they're just showing pigs. People, I was like, no, we'll get thousands. Like, Artesia Bulldog football is the 1 seed when it comes to viewership for online stuff. They get 5,000-6,000 at any given time watching a game, and
I believe it.
They just Artesia Goddard, they'll have hundreds, maybe 1,000 at one time, but Artesia faithful, and they from everywhere. Like if anybody went to Artesia High ever in their life, they're watching that game, and so we have people like in the Middle East, or they're working for their jobs, and they're logged in on Friday night watching football and stuff.
Yeah.
But right behind all that are those livestock shows at any fair, Chaves County Fair, Eddy County Fair, Eastern. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because especially if the child has family that lives in Oklahoma or Texas, or and next thing you know, and they can't be at the fair, so now they got 20 of their family members watching them show pigs on there, and we get so many people. And that's why we spin it that way when I tell people. It's like, hey, if you're here, go out there and root on the kids.
Yeah.
But if you're busy and you can't be there, or if you have out-of-town friends and family, have them tune in and watch your family online there.
Well, we had a lot of families that were very thankful that y'all do that. That is a wonderful service that y'all provide, because we do know that there were some families that were ill and couldn't come out to the fair, but were able to watch their grandkids. Or
and by the way, because of this,
families.
it kind of adds to the technology at some of the shows and auctions and things. Like because we partner in, and I know working with the fair guys and everything, kind of like, hey, we want to show some of the stuff you guys are showing here, and the ads and sponsors, and so it kind of forced the ranchers to get slightly, I wouldn't say full high tech, but a little high tech. Because it's weird, because the things to make that happen are not readily available in rural parts, like internet. That's our biggest crux in all of this. We live in Chaves County. We don't live in a city. We don't have 5G internet, everywhere you turn and all that. Ours, matter of fact, we're going Elon Musk with some of this now, and Starlink on getting some of our internet. We're going to be using Starlink for the first time this year for football games and stuff. So when we go to places like Berlin that has zero internet, we can kind of maybe bring some to people or fairgrounds. But as far as upcoming stuff, is there things we want to put on people's radar between now and the fair?
We do. So they can 4-H Day at the library is starting up again.
All right,
tomorrow.
now the kids are back to school. We're back into our fall programming.
Yeah, so 4-H Day at the library is kicking off tomorrow at 3, so they can come join us. It'll be a different program every month.
Are you doing the project tomorrow, or is it Drew? Or
It's me.
It's you.
It's me.
No.
Unless Drew wants to come needlepoint with all the kids.
Well, I could, but they wouldn't learn anything productive from it.
And they might end up with needles in their fingers.
I will end up with needles in my fingers. But I am hosting some pecan weevil trap workshops.
Okay.
And so we have one tomorrow evening at 5:30, one Thursday at 5:30.
Okay.
Gardening at the library this Saturday is also going to be pecan weevil trap
And that's the
workshops.
master gardeners that teach that one, right?
Well,
or what do they call it?
It's still me, but the master gardeners have been leading a lot of them, and I'm very thankful for them, and they have been doing a wonderful job. Last month was on...
So it's by Drew with Master Gardener adjacency.
Well, I helped start it, but the Master Gardeners have really been doing a lot of those that I've been out of town for or unable to make because of different 4-H responsibilities and things.
They're Master Gardeners.
It is.
Their whole time doing this stuff. And
they went and learned it, and their gardens are beautiful. And so they do a wonderful job. They're also at each one of the farmers markets lately. They've done some beautification projects over at Eastern New Mexico State Fairgrounds. Next time you're outside the Farm and Livestock Bureau building, look at all the beautiful work that they did right outside the front doors there. And they're working on the Triangle Garden here in Roswell. And so that is another project that is they've been working with the city on and getting that fixed up and cleaned up.
And they're great people for advice. And if I'm wrong on this, please tell me, because I'm just here to how other people think. But because of our soil and the way things are in Chaves County, because it's a good and bad thing in many aspects. Like you look at like water issues, because we have the aquifer, and so we don't have the water issues that Albuquerque and other parts have, because we have lots. It's the hardest water on the planet. But here's the thing: that's an aquifer. It's a river. It's moving sediment, it's moving minerals, soil. So depending on where you're at in town, the soil could be completely different. So folks that are growing in the north end, you may have to do way different stuff than folks growing in the south, because the soil's different. And you're like, how come your chili grows way better here than here? It's because of the soil. And that's why talking to these master gardeners, they know that. And it's like, what neighborhood you in? Okay, that's heavy with this. You're going to need to go with this in there to thrive. And that's
very much so.
Why talking to folks like this are awesome, because not only do they know gardening, they know local gardening and know what works here and what doesn't.
Very much so. And so definitely reach out, call in if you need any help. I'm still working through all of the notes that I have built up between the fairs and all the other 4-H events that I've been involved in this year, but I am getting back to people. And so
it takes a while, but we're
to you yet. It's
I'm
because
one man
you
with a
called
lot of
more
people
recent
asking
than the last
questions, and
person.
it's that time of year where they all want to know.
Yes. But again, the pecan weevil workshops, tomorrow, Thursday, Sunday, and then again on the 21st. And those outside of the library are going to be at 5:30 at our office. But then the one at the library is going to be 10 o'clock. So really 15 people is about all we can handle building a trap together.
Will they have a trap by the time they're done the workshop?
Yeah, so you create a trap and learn how to build a trap in the class and why the trap's important, how to utilize the trap.
When to utilize
it. And so we talk all things pecan weevil. And really we're just trying to find those locations, those pockets where we have a population of pecan weevil so we can get rid of it.
And your help in helping the community be aggressive. See, we're at now where it's quarantine. Luckily, the only places being impacted are private orchards and things. It has not gotten into the commercials.
It has not gotten into the commercial, according to NMDA right now.
But going unchecked without these people being responsible and doing their checks and creating their traps and all that, if we don't do that, it will eventually get into that. And you think it's a nightmare now? Wait till pecan weevils hit the commercial industry and you start seeing scarcity of pecans and all that market.
Pecans, but it'll increase the amount of pesticides that they'll have to use in an orchard. And
so that's something the chemicals they use, absolutely.
So it'll increase the cost of the pecans. It'll affect a lot of different areas that people don't always think about.
I think we all know how much supply and demand impacts prices and availability of things.
That's it.
And we're trying to avoid it from that place. And so do your part. If you own pecan trees and things, check, spray, set up traps. Don't take your pecans outside of your area. Don't take them to Texas. Don't do any of that stuff. If you think
Texas
you have
is fine. Texas is where we got our pecan weevil.
Okay. But that's how it got in the first.
That's how we got it. Yeah.
What we're saying is, don't be the person spreading it. Don't be taking them to your family out of state. Don't be.
If you get them shelled through a licensed sheller, so. Anybody who is shelling pecans and collecting pecans that way, they have to go through a certification with the NMDA to where they're able to inspect for pecan weevils as they're shelling.
Sure.
And so make sure they are licensed through NMDA when you take your pecans to them, because then they will be checking and they will be helping make sure we don't spread them as well.
And that's a good thing, because if you didn't know you had them, you'll find out you had them, and then you can do something about it.
Yes.
Right.
So it's a good thing. But
yes.
But what we're saying is, help us. If you're a pecan tree owner and lover and like to do all that, please be the responsible owner and help us so we can get rid of this quarantine. We could get rid of this and we can go back to just enjoying the nuts anytime you want.
That's it.
Yes, it does. I went that way. I know some of you are like, I already got a few nuts I'm enjoying in my house now. It's my sister-in-law. But please reach out with Drew, and if you're like, what? I just got a pecan tree. There's like you bought a property and one came with it, and you're like, pecan weevil, what is this?
Wonderful.
Come learn.
We're excited, and majority of the people in the valley love having a pecan tree. It kind of does represent our area and our community, and you get a valuable nut out of it.
Absolutely, yeah. But definitely to do, get involved with this stuff and ask. Come out to the library tomorrow. What time is is the Needlepoint event?
3.
3 o'clock. What's like the cap on age this is appropriate for?
So we reach anybody but the 4-H ages. So we do 5 to 18.
About 18
We've got
then.
some different things going on based on their ages. And so they're welcome to come join us. The other thing that we want to get on people's radar is Christmas Showcase will be back this
I know
year.
November's not that far away in that time
not.
frame. Yes.
And tickets are going to go on sale September 1. So they can get tickets through our office or through any Extension Club member.
If you're not familiar, it is each year the Extension Office puts out they have a day, and they'll come and they'll do the holiday. You get basically a book that has holiday food, like decor, just all Christmas type stuff. Whether it's cookies or how to make chili roosters or whatever it is, it's that kind of thing. And so each year they put out a book that's got new projects each year, and then they'll have a day that you can come out and try some of the foods, see how, little samples and demonstrations on how to do this, and then you pay I think it's $5 or something. It's very cheap. Yes. And when you're done, you get to try all these foods and these cool crafts, and then you take the book home, and then you get to keep. Now, every year it's different. So if you went last year or the year before, there's different things. And that's kind of the whole point. If you went last year and the year before, the whole point is to come back next year to get the new book. So it's got the new, and if you've got some family members that have been religiously doing this, they might have a stack of 20, 30 of these books sitting on a shelf somewhere, and they're adding to that collection. But it's in November. It's annually. Every year the Extension Office does. It's their Christmas showcase. It's usually there in the Thanksgiving time frame before
It'll be
Christmas.
November 14th.
Yeah, right there, a couple weeks before Thanksgiving. So you could incorporate some of that into your Thanksgiving festivities or hold out for Christmas. But either way, it's really good. Well, probably next time you come in, we'll have sign-ups and all that, telling people on dates, times, and if you need where to pre-register and all that kind of
Well, yeah. So like I said, tickets go on sale September 1, so they can buy them at the door, or they can miss the rush at the door and get them from the office or the Extension Club members. It is November the 14th. There's 2 different showings, one at 1:30 and one at 6:30.
And they're exactly the same, so it doesn't matter. So if you work and you can't, and you can't go to the one at 1:30, or your lunch hour is not long enough, then as soon as you pop off work, head on by at 6, or vice versa, whatever. It doesn't matter. Or if you went to the first one, it's like, dang, I want to see that one again. Come to the second one. You're more than welcome to. You get.
There's door prizes. There's raffles for the quilt that provides scholarship money for the youth here in Travis County.
Yeah.
And so there's lots of different things to do. But come out and see us.
And if you're just looking for things to get involved through the Extension Office, come out to the event, come and then talk with Tamara. I don't know. Do you hang out at this one, or are you going to be out?
You know what? Last year was my first experience with it, and it was a lot of fun. And I've still kind of been thinking about. There was like this apple cider Chex Mix or something that was there. It was fantastic. That
sounds good.
Kind of been thinking about it for about a year now. So, just saying, Tamara.
Well, if you had the book, you'd make it.
I know.
I bet you I know where you can get one.
Oh, I bet you do.
But they'll be there if you want to ask and learn more about the other programs, or if you want to get with Tamara about diabetes awareness and some of the help there. Use that as a conduit to get in touch with the Extension Office too. So, good deal. Is there anything we missed?
I think we covered a lot.
We have covered a lot. Now, I do want to throw out there that we are working on getting our CEUs in November.
Okay.
However, me and my Rush and Mad Mine, I reserved the date for November 7th. That's Election Day, so we're not going to have our CEUs when everybody's trying to go out and vote. So I will be changing that date, but it should be early November when we have our CEUs.
Okay, but we'll announce and tell everybody as we get everything kind of solidified there.
Very much so.
Good deal. Again, come by the Extension Office. They're on Chisholm. What's the actual
200 East Chisholm.
200 East Chisholm. I know
Suite
it's on
number
Chisholm.
4. We're the south end building, or side of the building.
And you can always look for Travis County Extension through NMSU on Facebook. That way, if you have any questions or want information about any of the events we talked about here or what's going on, like and follow that. That way, you can stay up to date on that kind of stuff. What's the office number if anybody has any questions?
622-3210.
Very good. Awesome. Well, thank you, guys. We'll let you go stomp out your fires, because I'm sure there's 2 or 3 laying around out there that need to be being
maybe.
That's why ducks are great big feet. They stomp right on. Anyway. We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, it's 9 o'clock. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
Military Affairs analyst says has had disastrous consequences.
What it is just something to spur on our enemies to renew their hostility and use the mechanisms at their disposal against us.
Retired Lieutenant Colonel Robert McGinnis says Al-Qaeda is again exerting considerable influence in Afghanistan, and rooting out the terrorist group is the reason the U.S. went into Afghanistan in the first place. China, Iran, and Russia, all emboldened by the chaotic U.S. withdrawal, according to McGinnis. Former President Trump has been indicted for a fourth time, this time in the Democrat stronghold of Fulton County, Georgia. 41 counts in the 97-page indictment, including conspiracy and racketeering for allegedly trying to overturn the results of the 2020 election. The Trump campaign writes on Truth Social, these activities by Democrat leaders constitute a grave threat to American democracy. Today is a deadline for the Department of Justice to respond to Hunter Biden's lawyers regarding reviving part of a plea deal decried by Republicans as a sweetheart deal.
Hunter Biden's legal team is pushing to keep part of a plea deal they reached with the prosecutor. His attorneys argued in court documents that an agreement sparing him prosecution on a felony gun charge still is in place, even though the plea deal on misdemeanor tax offenses largely unraveled last month. The prosecutor, Delaware U.S. Attorney David Weiss, has since been named as special counsel in the Biden investigation. Greg Clugston, Washington.
We are seeing a sell-off this morning on Wall Street. The Dow is down 310 points. The Nasdaq is off 115. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Recent bank failures are serving as a warning about how fragile our banking system really is. As millions of Americans panic, do you know what central banks are doing? Well, they're actually buying up gold at record levels. They're relying on it as a safe haven during these difficult times. That's how confident they are in the dollar. Hi, I'm Lance Wallnau, Christian author and evangelical leader to millions of people just like you. We're all Americans who want to protect our family's savings no matter what. I tell people the best option is to diversify their 401k or IRA into physical gold or silver with the help of Birch Gold Group. To see how it works, just text the word FAITH to the number 989898 to get a free information kit on gold IRAs. Look, there's no strings attached. It's not going to hurt you to take action now. So take the first step today and educate yourself. Get your free info kit when you text FAITH to 989898 right now, and I pray you and your family are greatly blessed.
Everybody wants cheap airfare, but where do you find it? You call low-cost airlines. Their prices are direct from the airlines, and they're so low you can't find these fares published anywhere. They specialize in cheap flights, discount hotel rooms, cheap car rental rates, and great package deals anywhere around the world. Wherever you want to go, they can help you get there cheaply and with a best price guarantee. If you want the lowest prices on your airline tickets or other travel services, call now. That's right, call. That's the only way to get these rates. Experts are standing by 24/7 to get you the cheapest airfare and hotel rates available. So don't wait. Call right now for the lowest travel prices anywhere and for great last-minute travel deals too.
Call 866-755-5300. That's 866-755-5300. Again, that's 866-755-5300. Call us right now.
A newly formed third party is looking at fielding a presidential candidate next year.
They call themselves the No Labels Party, made up of veteran politicians from both sides who hear voters saying they're not happy with either the Democratic or Republican frontrunners. And the No Labels Party just petitioned its way onto ballots in North Carolina, the 10th state in which it qualifies for next year's election. No Labels Party backers, who include Senator Joe Manchin and former Senator Joe Lieberman, are promising to produce a unity ticket if the major parties nominate divisive presidential and vice presidential candidates. I'm Jackie Quinn.
Louisville Public School District students returned to class Friday, part of a staggered reopening. The return comes as administrators reboot a new student transportation arrangement that melted down on the first day of school. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 3.
Trace Inviernos
of Mornings with Mike Winters right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Tuesday. Full on into it now.
Full on Tuesday.
Full on Tuesday.
So, my kid's mom is out of town this week. She's working up in Albuquerque.
Huh? Their kids are with you?
Kids are with me. Well, it's my week with the kids anyways. But the reason I bring it up is because normally I drop the kids off before I come to work. Carletta gets Rhiannon ready for school, gets her shoes on and whatnot. So I'm filling in for that role. So basically I got her lunch ready, got her shoes on and stuff. Here's the problem. I am really, really bad when it comes to girls' hair.
Not a good braider or
I
ponytail or
I
whatever
wasn't even
they
going
do.
to try a braid. I was just trying a simple, straight-up ponytail. But boy, did I blow it.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it's past the time that her teachers or administrators at the school will be listening, but let me just sincerely apologize for not being good with Rhiannon's hair this morning. It was bad. I just put it up in a messy ponytail. I was like,
That's
sorry.
Right. Not too much longer, then she'll want to do it herself.
Exactly. Yeah. So I keep telling her, if you just brush it through yourself. She's cursed with the female side of my family's hair, which is you could put a beach umbrella in it. It's super thick.
Enjoy that. Because I had thick hair once, too.
It don't work like that on the male side of the family.
I had thick hair once, too.
We're pretty thin.
When I was a kid, man, the hair people, oh, your hair's so thick and all this. And I was thinking as a kid, man, I'm going to be David Hasselhoff the rest of my life.
Yep. Now, look at me now.
Don't judge me. David Hasselhoff had fine hair back then.
He did. He still sort of does.
Still kind of does, yeah. But, yeah, you see how that worked out.
Just be gentle to your follicles, kids. That's all I'm saying.
Now I'm selling Scully caps.
Hi, Mike Winters for the Scully.
That's right. Do you have a chrome dome? Or actually, mine's worse. Because there's enough hair up there where I don't want to shave it. But there's not enough hair to doesn't look like I'm...
Now, you were shaved before, right? Or did you just go high and tight for the military?
I was shaved in basic. Technically, not Bic shaved. Only time I was Bic shaved was that bet we did. That's the only time I took a Bic to my head.
Got it.
The rest of the time was just clippers, and so there was that, whatever you want to call it, fudge.
I feel like
peach fuzz up there.
You'd be a good bald look. You could pull off bald.
Yeah, I got a goofy shaped head. So
I've tried a bald filter on my head before, and I feel like as long as I keep it Bic bald, I'd be okay.
Well, and you've seen me with little hair for a long time.
Sure.
So it's easier to picture. But if you asked me at 18 or 17, where I had my feathered out hair and the flow in the back with the mulletant like hair, it wasn't full mullet because my hair was kind of long on top too. It wasn't short. It wasn't party in the back. Mine was flowy, wavy. And then it kind of went to the and my hair flipped out because it was long enough then.
So you had Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yeah, I mean it wasn't down to my shoulders, but it was
wavy.
It was 80s style, poodled up a little bit. It was what I was always jealous because my hair didn't part well in the middle.
Yeah, same.
That was the butt part was the popular.
The butt cut. Yep.
Like if you had parted in the middle, feathered out in growing up in middle school, even high school. you were fine.
Basically,
I always parted it because that's how my mom always combed my hair. And to this day, it's still that way. I did part in the middle for like half a year, but it would never part right in the middle. It was always off kilter. And I think there's one or two pics, if you dig in the annals of pics of me with middle parted hair when I was like 14 or 15. But
I am. That's probably my area of biggest embarrassment is my hair, mostly my like teenage to adult hair, because I was doing the whole frosted tips thing. I was dying.
Oh wow!
You remember in the mix days, I had shock blonde hair.
I remember that. Yeah,
it was like bleach blonde, but then it grew out, and so I had the roots were going, and it was like blonde here, and it was like long.
Yeah,
that was around the Foo Fighters concert because I just remember shock blonde hair and a safety green shirt. There was no hiding me at that.
Oh yeah,
at
those
that
shirts.
Event.
I hated those shirts.
I love those shirts.
I hate that
those
color. I'm not a fan of that color.
Could find anybody in a crowd.
I moved to the wrong town. But yeah, I've never been a big fan of that lime, 80s green yellow color.
But I feel like for the time, that with the saw blade logo was like a perfect shirt.
Yeah. I just came up in an era where every bro dog on the planet wore Ocean Pacific shorts of that color, and they all sounded like a commercial for Mountain Dew, and I just didn't want to associate with that.
Sure. It's understandable. You came up. Your formative years were really at a time when fashion was sort of confused.
Oh yeah, I remember culottes,
hammer pants,
MC parachute pants, the skids.
I
was around for skids. I remember like late elementary, early middle. AJ jeans were like they were. I think they were like $70 jeans, which was an ungodly amount compared to and so they were like even then, like Jordache and those were popular as like designer jeans,
right?
But the AJs were next level. They were the Jordans of pants for that time. Or there was a hot minute before Jordans where New Balance were the shoe. And I remember when New Balance first came out with a high top somewhere in my middle school, and this was pre-Jordan, I think. They were treated like Jordans. Like you were the cool kid if you had them. You'd hear the stories of someone's kids got their shoe stolen on the bus or whatever. I lived in that world, and that was how I go. And I'll never forget one kid. I don't know what he was thinking, but and this was again. I was an associate with this group of kids. I was the fly on the wall, sitting 3 seats over, just listening to the whole drama go down. But one kid. And, of course, you go to the back of the bus. That's where the cool kids sat.
Sure.
And at this time, I was not part of the cool kids. But I was like 4 seats
in the middle
up from the cool kids in the back, so I could hear.
Right.
And so one kid in our neighborhood showed up on the bus one day, and he had. I don't even think they were Adidas. I think they were Adidas knockoffs.
Right.
But they were the Adidas at the time was very popular for the shell toe with the big shell. That was it. So if you had the Adidas high tops. Either low tops or high tops with the shell toe, and at the time the blacks were very popular.
Right,
the black color on the shoes, and so this kid came in, and I guess he had a white pair of knockoff Adidas shell tops.
Okay,
they had a shell tops, but they were like Flava or Fava or one of these, Olympian or one of these offshoot brands.
Right,
and so that was faux pas 1. Faux pas 2 was he took spray paint and painted his white shoes black.
No.
And then he rolled up on the bus and went to the back.
No.
And that kid got eviscerated for the next, 20 minutes or however long they're on the bus to get to school. That kid got...
I can imagine.
To this day, I was that kid. I'm like, I am not doing any of that. I said, I heard all that. And here's the thing. That kid that got ridiculed, like in the scale of coolness, he was way ahead of me.
Right.
Like he was more popular than I was.
So at that point, they were just, busting.
Yeah.
Ribbing,
but they
basically.
Well, the kid was in tears by the time.
Oh, wow. So they weren't ribbing. They was...
Yeah, it may have started friendly, and he tried to defend it. And then about 10 minutes into that, he realized what the mistake he made and spray painted his shoes and showed up to a bunch of judgmental kids.
See, I grew up on essentially just that Walmart, thrift shop, whatever shoes. I remember the best pair of shoes I ever owned. And it was, we got them at a Ross Dress for Less.
Oh, yeah, the Rosses, yeah.
This is when we first moved to Rio Rancho. I found a pair, and you're going to laugh, of Tommy Hilfiger shoes. I didn't even know Tommy Hilfiger made shoes.
They had like some boat ones, like the deck shoes.
These were skate shoes.
Okay, so they were trying to compete with Vans and all that.
They were gray with a thick rubber sole, and they had a neon green pipe stripe around it, the thing.
That makes sense because they had, for the hoity-toity version, was the boat shoes.
Right.
Then they had the skate, but they're basically the same shoe. I think they were the designs. Like for the boat shoes, it was more white and blue and looked like, you wear the sailor hats and, those people. But then they had the ones that look more like Vans that were multicolored and all that. A lot of that green that you
It was the
speak of.
coolest pair of shoes I ever owned, like with a designer thing on them. And the thing was, and this is maybe this ruined me on nice shoes, is they were garbage.
Skate shoes in general are always
they
the shoes that fell apart
within like a month.
Every pair, because I grew up in the time where Tony Hawk and all that, it was the heyday and predating him.
Right.
And there was a time where skateboarding was, even if you couldn't skate, it was kind of cool to be adjacent to it.
You'll never see me on a skateboard, but I consider myself a skater kid hardcore.
Yeah. And so, and there was a place that I could walk to, because that was the whole point of everything at teenage years.
Sure.
You could get on a bicycle or walk to it, then it was in your lexicon and thing. And there was a place called All Skate that was near our Mamma Mia's Pizzeria and my Wendy's that I love so much. Our guests are here. So let me finish my story.
Yeah, of course.
So we go to All Skate, and All Skate was a skate shop. They would show they have the TV on, showing the Thrasher videos pretty much all day, the Thrasher magazines. They sold, they had a wall of decks. And, of course, the expensive Tony Hawk ones are at the top. The cheap Nash ones are at the bottom. Then you could buy the trucks, the whole deal. And then they had the apparel where you could get, and at the time, there were two types of shoes, if you were a skater, that you would wear. One was Vans. The other was Chuck Taylor's.
Oh, yeah.
And because that's, at the same time, that's when Chuck Taylor said, we're going to offer more than white or black as a Chuck Taylor color. And so you started seeing things like peach. Right. You start seeing yellows, reds, blue Chuck Taylors. They even had an American flag version that I saw a couple times where they painted red, white, and blue. I remember seeing a boot version where it was a high top but even higher, and then they put a boot heel on it. But anyway, those were the popular. But here's the thing: them Chuck Taylors, I bought a pair of peach ones because I thought it was a good idea at the time. And I got 2 weeks out of them for the whole bottom just
completely blew out.
Really? Flapping at me saying, hi, how you doing? And Vans were no better.
Right.
I usually rip them by about 2 weeks. And I'm like, why don't they make skate shoes tougher? Because they literally fall every day, all day on those things. They can't last very long.
Every pair of like Airwalks or like Fubu or whatever, those shoes lasted forever. And they were like $12.
Yeah.
But I came up in the skate era where everybody had their specific brand. Like you had to call like.
Oh yeah, you were loyal to it, and it was based on which skater you liked.
Well,
so if you're a Peralta fan, then you're all in the Pal Peralta stuff. If you're a Hawk guy, then you bought all the Hawk stuff.
Mine was solely based on how cool I thought the logo looked.
Yeah.
World Industries, because they had Flame Boy and Wet Willie. I always thought those were really cool, and so that was the skate brand of choice for me was World Industries.
No, mine. When I had a skateboard, mine consisted of the same brand that you could buy at Radio Shack at the time.
Nice.
So I think it was Nash.
Was it Tandy?
Yeah, it was it was one up Nash, which is
nice.
Which is Tandy in the skate world.
Right?
like I think they started in surfboards, but like Nash are like the ones you rent at the beach that are basically made out of that same material you buy coolers at the grocery store with. And their skateboards were the same way.
It was basically a boogie board.
Yeah. But they carried them at the very bottom because most of us poor kids couldn't afford the $200.
Because you were hanging your heads in shame, and that's where the
$200 Tony Hawk deck. You know, we could afford the $10 Nash deck.
Right.
So that's what we had. And then you'd buy your deck, and then you could customize with the rails. If you wanted, and again, colors like pink and that green were very popular at the time. And and so that was part of the deal with your board. Not only had to have a cool board, but you had to have the right trucks. And then there were schools of thought because some people you put rail guards. What are you a poser? What is it? You don't wear that. It's kind of like helmets on bicycles. You didn't wear them.
Yeah,
but
they're safe, but you're not going to wear that.
It's different. But that was and Skateboarding was much smaller then. It was, the ESPN wasn't showing skate things on prime time like they do now. You might see the California Championships at 2 a.m. on ESPN, right after the lumberjack pole climbing competition.
This concludes today's edition of Back in My Day with Mike Winters.
That's right. All right, it's 9:20. We got the folks from American Legion Post 61. They're going to join us in a minute. Before we do that, though, let's take a look at your weather.
Your weather forecast is brought to you by Do Right Roofing. For a free estimate, give Do Right Roofing a call today. 623-2273. That's 623-2273.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Sunny with a few clouds early today, and then mostly sunny for this afternoon. We'll stay in the mid-90s on today's high. Overnight, maybe a few clouds. Our lows in the upper 60s to low 70s, and then we heat up a little bit on Wednesday. Sunshine across the area, upper 90s to low 100s. We do have a slim chance of a shower or thunderstorm by Thursday afternoon. Highs in the low 100s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, helps if I go get my weather. I was busy not doing that. Currently 77 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity's at 42%. That's good news. Usually by this time it's like 85. So I'm going to call that a win. It's only 77. Southeast winds 3 miles per hour. Expect a high of 94 today. That's under 100, so we'll call that a win too. South winds 5 to 10. Tonight, partly cloudy. Overnight low of 70. South winds 5 to 10. Back to the hundreds tomorrow. Sunny and 102 for your Wednesday. South winds 5 to 10. Partly cloudy. Overnight low of 72 tomorrow night. Thursday, mostly sunny. 103 for a high. Northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Friday, sunny and 102. Saturday, sunny and 101. And sunny and 100 on Sunday. 98 on Monday of next week. So there's your next day under 100. 1 week from yesterday. All right, it is 22 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're going to take a quick 4-minute break, and then we'll talk with the folks from American Legion Post 61. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Roswell Skin Center, a brand new state-of-the-art facility located in the 400 Penn Plaza building here in Roswell, is now accepting new patients. Dr. Brandon Cometti and his team offer a full range of skin care services, including general dermatology, surgical and cosmetic procedures, including cutting-edge laser rejuvenation, Botox, filler, laser hair removal, chemical peels, and other non-invasive options to improve skin health and turn back the hands of time. Call and schedule your appointment at Roswell Skin Center today, 208-2509. That's 208-2509.
Ho! It's the 15th anniversary of Artesia Chamber of Commerce's Clay's Crusher Fun Shoot. The longest-running shoot at the Eddy County Shooting Range is set for Saturday, August 26th. Here's a great opportunity to network, reduce stress, and have some fun along the way. All ages are welcome. There are 2 rotations, one at 9 a.m. and 1 p.m. $150 per shooter per rotation. Sponsorships are available. Registration fee includes Target, lunch, sponsored this year by Snowwell Services, a shooter gift, and a chance to win great prizes. For information, call the Artesia Chamber at 575-746-2744. The Clay's Crusher Fun Shoot, Saturday, August 26th in Artesia, New Mexico. Ad paid for by Artesia and Eddy County Lodgers Tax. Sign up online at artesiachamber.com.
Hey, Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing. Trustmark is one of the only roofing companies that's also a licensed commercial and residential general contractor.
Wow.
I know, who cares, right? Well, you should care. You see, a licensed roofer can install a new roof on your home, but really can't handle structural problems underneath. So if your roof needs reframing or your chimney needs a water diverting cricket, you may need to call a licensed general contractor. And coordinating 2 companies for your roofing job can get costly and messy fast. As a licensed roofer and general contractor, Trustmark can install a stunning new roof on your home and handle structural issues. This saves you time, money, hassle, and even makes it easier to file an insurance claim. Call today for your 20% off coupon for our spring roof and gutter maintenance service. 575-755-ROOF or visit us at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
More than 50 million Americans live with chronic pain. If you're experiencing pain that interferes with your daily life, Artesia General Hospital can help. Dr. Casey Della Barca and our compassionate team of providers treat a variety of conditions, including arthritis, back and neck pain, migraines, neuropathy, and more. We offer advanced procedures and comprehensive therapy, and we personalize treatment plans to help you get back to living a quality life. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/pain.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Due to extreme pressure and weather conditions, it literally rains diamonds on Neptune and Uranus. Stop snickering because I said Uranus. Here's Mike Winters.
Or if you're looking for a quick rich scheme, see if you can book a flight to Neptune or Uranus and wait for a rainstorm and just collect the diamonds and come back home. Now you're rich.
You got to be careful because you're wiping out Klingons at that.
Oh, boy.
It's all right.
Morning.
It's Morning with Mike Winters. Huh?
Well, depends on which Klingons. Like, if it's the new Klingons, they look pretty tough. But, like, the original Star Trek Klingons with the makeup job, I could take those guys.
Yeah, they definitely improved.
But, like,
as
the
time went on.
Klingons from the more modern, they're
Well, it's
tougher.
the difference between William Campbell and Michael Dorn.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
There's a huge world of difference.
Dorn's a little more intimidating to me.
Yeah, a little bit. For sure.
Good morning. It is 27 minutes after 9 o'clock.
Now that you've had your Star Trek briefing.
That's right. And joining us in studio this morning from American Legion Post 61 family, we have Commander Lee and Auxiliary President Jen back with us. Good morning. Good morning. Officially now, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
So I know as far as things we just had, Suns each month, and we just had our first of the month, August, for them. So you missed for this month. But they'll be doing it again here in a couple weeks for the first Saturday in September. Which
provided we can find a location.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. We may not have a place that month.
Right. The church has canceled out on us. They won't let us do pancake breakfast.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I think they're
Right.
getting ready to do something for the kids or something.
Oh, okay. So they got their own thing
Yeah.
that they've got going on. We're in the way.
So
Makes sense.
Dawn is in negotiations with a venue here in town. We're going to see if we can utilize. I'm not going to mention who it is because
until
we have it locked down. But there's a place in town that is a possibility.
Okay, so we'll let you know. But if you're like, dang, those pancakes were good, and I was $5, and I ate, I walked out of
very good.
Yeah, I ate for $5. I walked out of there hurting, eating all the food. We'll announce the new location. So for September, hopefully you can get your pancake on.
Yeah.
And we got a lot going on between now and then. So
we do, but I know that's the big temple thing our sons really do for fundraising and stuff. And of our 3 entities, they're the ones that kind of need the most help in that department. So we want to put that on.
Yeah.
We want to put that on their radar. Come support the Sons Pancake Breakfast wherever it's going to be, whenever it's going to happen again.
We'll let you know.
But thank you for coming out to our first couple here. We do appreciate it.
Very much appreciated.
And I think everyone that came, we're like, dang.
That's
got a lot of food for $5.
for $5.
Yeah, it was really, and it was tasty, fresh made. They were in there griddling pancakes and 8 in the morning for you, getting ready to do it and doing all that. So it's really good. But anyway, we'll tell you more on that one. In the meantime, there are a couple things we do want to kind of put on people's radar here. I'll kind of let you start with the hodgepodge there, where you want to go with first.
No pressure.
Hot
well,
potato.
I'd say Well,
it's supposed to be
thing-
done at some point.
The big thing that we're doing right now is farmers market. of
Yes,
course.
every Saturday, beginning at 7 in the morning.
Yeah.
Way too early. Yeah.
But I push cookies and pastries and
Yes, you do.
And currently we have a drawing going for 2 Glocks.
I'm about to say we're probably low on tickets, aren't we? We don't have a whole
Yeah,
lot.
we got a couple left.
Okay.
But I mean, I'm hoping to get them sold before I leave for Charlotte. But we got a 43X and a 41 with extra mags, so it's a 380 and a
9mm.
9mm with extra mags.
Okay.
And it's $20 a ticket or $6 for 100. Get them well.
And there's a finite of tickets
They last.
sold, right?
We're only selling 250
So
tickets
after the 200
total.
So that's gone. That's it. We're not
That's
making more
it.
tickets.
No, we're not making any more tickets. We figure we're going to give everybody a fair shot.
Exactly.
So,
And then, if I remember right, we'll do the drawing during the Eastern New Mexico State
the
Fair,
last day of Eastern New Mexico State Fair, October 7th.
which we will have a booth out in the commercial building as we have
yes.
for the last
Yes.
several years, and so you will come by and if there's tickets left, then we'll auction, but or kill them
Well,
off then.
here's the plan. The plan is if we can sell out these Glock tickets, we'll
have another
probably
one.
have another one for Eastern Mexico State
Yeah.
Fair. Maybe a Henry or something like that, but we'll see.
Something a little more collectory.
Substantial.
Yeah. Yeah, then the nice thing about the set that we have is it's perfect for concealed carry.
Yeah, it's
which
like
is
a his and hers.
why I'm thinking of
So
buying a ticket myself.
Going to do a couple secure or
Personal protection.
There you go. I kept
Yes.
trying to. It was not coming out. I was like,
It's all
the closed caption. No, not closed caption. I was trying to say everything, but that's what was my.
Well,
head
that'd
was
be a
going.
hell of a close caption.
It's probably because it's CC and
Yeah, conceal carry. It just kind of
Yeah.
was going, and I've seen a lot of TV lately, so kind of.
there you go.
Yeah, and my wife, who
I didn't think you watch TV because you just don't have that kind of time.
I do. I just watch it differently. Like in the evenings, generally, my wife has her news and all that. So if I'm off or I don't have anything, then I'll see him in the evenings there. And then sometimes on Sundays I have a day, and I took a day off yesterday to do some work, and I actually spent a little time watching some TV. Not a whole lot.
The thing is, if I didn't have a hopper, I wouldn't watch any TV at all.
Yeah.
Because I record everything and then
Skip through the commercials.
skip through the commercials
It's nice.
and I can binge watch, And
Well, and right now I have DirecTV, and they're in contract negotiations with Nexstar, which
I've never
around
even
here.
heard of that.
Well, around here,
Nexstar is the satellite.
yeah,
constellation.
Nexstar around here owns your CBS, your Fox, and your CW affiliate.
Oh.
And so they're fighting with DirecTV right now. So if you have DirecTV in the state of New Mexico, you do not have CBS, you do not have Fox, and you do not have CW.
Oh.
This happens every year. It's
Well, this
either
has been going
DirecTV
along, though.
I know, but it's either DirecTV or it's Dish or something. Somebody's fighting with somebody.
And they're both going to tell you the other one's wrong. Nexstar, DirecTV saying Nexstar is wanting too much money for their programming. Nexstar saying they want our stuff for free, and we're like, no, we're not giving, they're both they're just trying to fight for money. But the weird part about it is usually when this happens, they're only down for a week or two. CW's been down almost 6 months.
Oh wow. That's quite a.
And
that's quite a
CBS
spat.
and Fox have been out almost all of the summer, so at least 2-3 months now.
Wow.
And
it's
going to
hits
be
hard because CBS has got a lot of the mainline shows, but it's in reruns over the summer.
Wait
so-
till NFL season kicks here, because
Oh,
guess
they'll
what?
decide by
If
then.
you're on regular TV, yeah, NBC shows some games, but most of them are on Fox or CBS.
Yeah.
And once people don't have access to that, and Sunday Ticket, they lost that because it's now YouTube TV, so you can't even. They're trying to offer a sports package where they give you the NFL Red Zone, which is great if you want to watch all the games 2 minutes at a time. It's a channel that just every couple minutes all right, let's flip over to the Cardinals game, and then they'll show a score, and it's like, let's go back to the Titans game or whatever it is. And that's great if you like watching football that way. But if you're like me and you're a Washington Commanders fan and all you care, I don't want to watch 2 minutes of the Titans.
I heard
wanna
they're changing their name back.
Well, there's new ownership that starts that up again. Nothing's happening this season, but basically, Magic Johnson and Josh Harris, the two, there's way more owners, but they're kind of the face of it mostly. Right after they bought the team, they pretty much said that they're not doing nothing this year. But Magic specifically said during a Today Show interview, after this season, everything's on the table, which basically...
Well, they have all these Native American groups that are protesting because they like the name.
Yeah, there's one major poll that's going out there, or petition, that's got like 20, 30, I don't know. Last I heard it was 70,000. I don't know. I keep seeing different numbers, but of signatures to bring the name back. However, the organization that's behind it is a quote-unquote Native Americans for, but the guy that runs it's not even a Native American. So that's kind of a huge red flag. Not saying that some natives don't support it, but if you're going to have an organization that claims to be of Native Americans saying that we want, you better have a guy that's native, that's your face and running it. And so for me to be a part of that, I'm like, that's
yeah, I can see that.
It doesn't, and to be honest, I don't think it matters, because a lot of people think that people were bucking against the Redskins name because of Dan Snyder, because they wanted him gone. And I'm like, Dan's gone, but FedEx is still a sponsor. So is some of our others. And they specifically said, we will no longer sponsor this team if you're called the Redskins. A lot of people saying, oh, that's just because Dan Snyder was there. Now that Dan's gone, they won't. No, because the guy that owned FedEx was a part owner. The guy that owns FedEx, the company FedEx, he was a minority owner of the Commanders. And him and Dan had a thing, and then Dan ended up buying him out. But that was a big reason why the name changed, is because the FedEx guy absolutely said he's out on sponsoring anything, and they contributed mucho buckos to that organization.
They have it to contribute, yeah.
I don't see that name ever changing as long as FedEx is part of the thing. But we'll see. Maybe court opinion will change, or public opinion will change things. But I will see the name change to Commanders. I do not think it's going back to Redskins. That's my prediction. I think Commanders is associated with Dan Snyder, and everyone wants to wash their hands of that. So I think the name will change again, but it will not be Redskins. That's my prediction.
We'll see if you're right.
Anyway, you got me sidetracked, Ian. We got to talk about American Legion stuff.
That's all right. I was just sleeping.
Yeah.
But by the way, always looking for new members to come be a part.
Well, Thursday night they're going to be doing some more fabric stuff.
Yeah.
You don't have to be fabric savvy. You can trace or cut or whatever. So
we're just help wherever you help, maybe.
Yeah, we actually have some pretty good news about the fabric stuff. We actually managed to finish our first Quilt of Valor. It's completely
sweet.
done. We got the binding all done and everything. Now we just got to find.
That's been about a year process.
Oh, more than
2 year process.
Yeah,
okay.
it's,
but they were hand sewing it, so.
Yeah, well, the binding.
Yeah, because this kind of started in the thick of COVID world, didn't it?
It did, yeah.
Yeah. Now that you say that, I'm very bad with time, so everything's like a year ago, and it's like, no, that was like 7 years ago. What?
Yeah, but we finished the Quilt of Valor. Now we just have to register with the organization, and then we will be able to award it to a local veteran.
Awesome.
Yeah, we just got.
Do we have a person in mind yet?
Not yet. Okay. So if the community has any suggestions, we'd be happy to take
kind of
those.
Explain the Quilt of Valor for folks that aren't familiar with what
basically
this is.
The Quilt of Valor it's an organization that was created in order to get quilts out to those that have seen things that they wish they hadn't.
Yeah.
It's a thank you from the American people to our veterans.
Yeah. It's a token of love.
It is. It's a hug to those that need it. It's given to a veteran, and it's awarded. They've got a certificate, and it's logged, it's tracked. So
it's not just a blanket,
right? Yeah, it's not just a blanket, and you can't sell it. You can't give it away. It's awarded to those that deserve it.
Sure. And for anybody that knows, when you talk about blanket making and things like that, generally the most labor intensive of the bunch is quilt making.
It is.
And so that's why quilts are chosen, because it generally is a labor of love, and it's to show that we're going to bust our butt to thank you for making a sacrifice that you made for us.
Right.
So
and
that's what it's about.
And the quilts also obviously have specific sizes that they're looking for, and it has to be sewn. It can't be like a tie quilt. Or
right. This has got to be handmade. And
well, you can make it on a machine, but it can't be like a tie
right, you can't just go
quilt
you can't buy thing patches and put you know what I mean? There's a
Yeah.
lot of shortcuts that they don't want you to do.
Right. Yep.
They want to keep it traditional, keep it the way of quilting and all that stuff. Sure, you can use the serger or whatever to do all that, but they don't want you like putting half together quilts and doing all. They want it all,
there's some minimum requirements.
like cooking. You know, you can make your own holiday sauce or you can buy the packet. They
Yeah.
want you to make your own holiday sauce instead of buying the McCormick packet.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, ours is a patriotic. Obviously, it's red, white, and blue, and I think it's kind of it's a little bigger than a lap size. It's almost a twin size. I would say it's a pretty good size
So
blanket.
good for like covering up in the chair while you're sitting there.
Exactly.
You know, reading or watching TV or something.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yep.
But we got our first one done. We just need
did.
to get the stamps of approval, and then we'll go on to the next phase there. Excellent. But every Thursday, pretty much,
Yep.
At First United Methodist Church, they're meeting and the sewing and putting together stuff. The first Thursday of every month is our actual meeting night.
Yes.
6 p.m. Once a quarter, all meet at one meeting.
This next one will be
is that a joint one?
Yeah.
But we all meet at 6 p.m. The Sons and the Legionnaires meet together, and then the auxiliary has their own meeting at the time. And then once a quarter, which
they're special.
One for September, we'll all meet in one meeting.
Yeah.
So, but
We really like doing the joint meetings because we are a family,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps keep everybody on the same page and sharing ideas and coordinating
and
efforts.
all of the stuff we do, like the bears and all that stuff. Yes, that's an auxiliary kind of run and centric thing, but we as a Legion kind of take credit for doing that. Same with the pancake breakfast. That's a Sun-centric thing, but the auxiliary and the Legionnaires all support
We all
it.
participate. We all support each other's program.
Well, and like Memory Lawn, most of the folks working at Memory Lawn are Legionnaires.
Yeah. But auxiliaries
Frank and
just as
Ralph
much
are-
hand in hand, and Sons are just as much.
Yeah,
The
'cause we
auxiliaries
doing
out
it.
there picking up garbage. They're
Yeah,
out
we do.
there, whatever.
That's
trimming bushes sometimes. But I mean, the reality is it's a family business.
Right.
So we'd love to invite families. So if one's a veteran, one's the spouse, or if you have children, all the above can be a part of it as part of this.
And then we have scouting on top of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean.
Yeah, and we have our scout troops. We have a Cub Scout and a Boy Scout. It's co-ed, but the older Scout troop as well, too.
Right, Troop 2.
Sorry, that's going to take me a while to get Boy Scout out of my head, because that's how you
No,
said it.
that's what we have, Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Boy
But technically,
Scout troop,
yeah. But now
we have Cub
females
Scout
allowed in.
Well, Cub Scout is joint, but and then we got Dragonfly Festival coming up next month.
Yes, out of Bitter Lake.
We'll be doing double duty, farmers market and Dragonfly.
Matter of fact,
Festival.
Don Weld will be in tomorrow talking Bitter Lake and Alzheimer's, so he'll catch them both.
Yes, he wears many hats, that's for sure.
Which will be Legionnaires are both involved in both of those things. The Alzheimer's
well,
walk
we
and-
just had 2024 committee last night, which, for those of you who don't know, the state convention for the American Legion is going to be here in Roswell.
Yes, next summer.
So
this next June.
we're on the hook for that, and we've been planning and
So
lining out bling.
Yeah, so if you have a small
coins,
business,
shirts.
we're going to have probably several hundred people coming into town. So if you would like to contribute to that,
Like swag bags?
Yeah, we need.
Well, yeah, we need those. We need ID holders. We need.
But if you want to put
lanyards,
things that
like
promote
if you
your
have,
business
yeah,
in
if you
there,
have flyers and stuff like that
have
that you want to
jerky
include, let us know.
or some kind of nuts or.
Well, you have a captive audience, so I
We've got
mean,
pens or
anything
something.
we can put in these little swag bags, everything from
Everything that promotes Roswell to people outside of Roswell.
Right, exactly.
food items to.
And there's some folks that will be coming into town who've never been here before. So if you have some little business that they should know
or
about,
whatever.
We
We
haven't
are
told about the
going
abduction
to
yet.
try to promote the alien aspect of it here. So
It's kind of what we're known for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ride that gravy train. Come for the aliens and learn about milk and stuff.
Yeah.
Cheese.
Yeah, I had no idea when I first moved here that Roswell was a dairy capital.
Yeah,
It's like, that's-
second largest in the U.S.
Yeah, in the middle of the desert. I would not have guessed that.
If you've eaten a pizza from Domino's any time in your life, chances are you've eaten cheese from right here in Roswell.
Yep.
All the mozzarella, all the cheese you want.
Yeah.
Although
You're cheesing me off now.
well, I learned, the little Miss Muffet sat on her tuffet eating her curds and whey.
Uh-huh.
Say that all the time as a kid.
Don't
I had
get
no
me
idea what
started.
curds and whey was
I
until
had no idea either.
I toured Leprino. I'm like, curds? Oh, that's separate milk. That's what all that means. I didn't know what any of that meant. I had no idea. I was like, milk, oatmeal. I don't know. So curds and whey is separate. That's like they use the curds, I think, to make like your cheese, and the whey to make like your protein.
Yeah, I'm still not sure how they make cottage cheese though.
I don't know.
Curdled milk. We have Veterans Day parade coming up,
Yes, we
and
do.
it's actually on Veterans Day this year.
November.
Which means we're looking for sponsors.
Yes.
So anybody who would like to sponsor the veterans this year, please get a hold of me, either through the website or call me on the phone.
Yep.
Either way, roswelllegion.org, or call me at 575-268-0220, or
come to one of our meetings.
Come to a meeting or what have
Farmers
you.
Market, if you see them out on the
Farmers Market,
Saturday.
that's a good thing. We'll have, and it's 501c19, so you can write off part of it if you itemize, or if you're a large business looking for a tax deduction. These are good things.
We can shelter your taxes.
Well, some of them.
Yes.
We all need a little shelter. Sorry.
I thought it was gimme shelter.
I don't know. I'll do my own version to fit the narrative.
There you go. Yep.
But
the level of cheese on this program.
Oh man, I got the best dad jokes. I'm not even a dad. What's up with that? But anyway,
Yeah. You have fur kids.
I do. I have 2 cats, and but that don't count.
They don't count?
I don't think it's dads.
Don't say that out loud, because Lizzie's the crazy cat lady.
Yeah, but people like Sean that have actual kids tend to frown when I say I'm a dad.
Well, yeah. There is different levels, I suppose. Yeah.
Well, I don't know. People who have lots of animals, it's quite the expense.
Oh, you ain't wrong. I know. It's very expensive. They're nutty and they're fun, and I love them. I wouldn't have it any other way. But, yeah, it's a job to maintain pets and to do it right.
Well, people think, it's like kids. You have 1, no big deal. 2, a little bit bigger deal. You get to 3 or more, this is X to the 3rd power,
Yeah.
X to the 4th power.
Well, now you're starting to get into teacher world, what they're dealing with 20 kids at one time.
Yeah. Kudos to our teachers. I don't know how they do it.
Yes.
Scholarships.
Yes.
We have 2 $2,500 scholarships on the table.
And nobody's applied yet.
Nobody has applied for that. I guess nobody needs money this year.
Guess not. If you go to roswelllegion.org, you'll find the link for the scholarships. You'll see the requirements. You could be a veteran or a family member, immediate family member of a veteran. That's kind of the first
grandchild.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of the first rule or requirement here. This goes towards.
I'm trying very hard to give away $5,000.
Yeah.
Nobody want it? Anybody?
And to be honest, it's the requirements aren't that stringent. The military, the veteran side is part of it. The other thing is you've got to be pursuing a STEM-related career field,
or first responder,
which is very broad. It counts on anything from your engineers but medical field, first responders, any of that. But heating, air conditioning, all that STEM stuff,
science, technology, education.
Yeah. So if you're going into
mechanical,
the trades,
mathematics.
So even if you're going into the trades, as they used to say back in the day,
right?
That's all STEM too. So this scholarship qualifies for that.
We even gave $1,500 to a welder.
Yeah,
I mean, geez,
it's all STEM, and so we just want to help that way. You will have to write an essay. There is a thing about
500 words.
Yeah.
You think
you are going to college?
Mike says 500 words in a minute. So
right. Not all properly put together words.
Doesn't matter.
500 of them.
if you're the only one writing an essay, it's fine.
Yeah. I'll be. The other day, my Siri accidentally caught me on doing a chat, and so it started recording. And I was about to send my wife a whole dialogue of me talking on the radio that this thing was just recording the chat.
She'd have loved that.
And I looked and I was like, what the heck is going on?
Wow. Yeah.
But it was pulling some of what I then, and it caught a couple of what Sean was saying, so it was a hot mess on there. But 500 words is nothing. You can knock it out in a minute. Yeah. I know it seems like a lot when you're in younger school, but by the way, you are going to a higher institution. You're probably going to be writing 10 of those in a given time. So
yeah.
Good practice.
Yeah.
So. But we do want to get people to fill it out right now.
Yeah, because you guys are going into school are already there.
Yeah.
So come get your money.
And the money,
because it's just sitting there.
yeah,
not
it's
doing nothing.
Anything related to your schooling. You want to use it for books or for to
materials or tuition or
isn't just
we're not
tuition.
going to buy your beer for you.
Yeah, that's on you.
Not going to do that.
And we're not paying for your housing, but the rest of it.
Well, you don't get it. We didn't even buy our own beer. If we did, it was always cheap. You know what I'm saying? That we didn't. We go.
I got off easy. I didn't really drink in college.
Yeah. There's a reason I went to the Class 6 every Friday and got a 12-pack of Milwaukee's Best for like $3.
It was cheap. Yep. See, but if you get the scholarship, then you have more money to get the fun things.
Yeah.
So
Now I just realized why you have such thinning hair. You were drinking Old Milwaukee Best.
Oh, I drank nothing nice. I was,
You look like a Mickey's Big Mouth kind of guy.
I'm the epitome of cheap beer. I drank all the, if it's expensive, I was like, ugh. Give me the Beast Ice was my go-to. Milwaukee's Best Ice. That was my odds are pretty good. If I'm at a social event in the military and you have a picture of me, there's a Beast Ice in my hand.
Well, my problem was I had standards. I wouldn't drink things like Bud Light or
when I made $1,000 a month,
Mickey's Big Mouth. Or
I made $1,000 a month. I drank whatever they did for me.
See, this is why you need to apply for the scholarship. So you can spend your money on fun things as well.
There you go. You don't have to drink
because it's part of the experience.
But please, you got to go to Roswell Legion. I guarantee you're not going to get the scholarship if you don't apply. So go to roswelllegion.org. You'll find the application and all the process and everything there. Also, if you're looking for more information about us on anything about our tentpole projects, Memory Lawn, all of the things we back, and you'll find all of that there. So if you're interested in becoming a Legionnaire or a auxiliary or Sons member,
I just updated our calendar.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Sure
Good
did.
deal. So you can see our upcoming events, of course, Veterans Parade.
You're going to have a whole afternoon to read the event calendar.
Kind of.
Yeah, we're a little busy, so we could really use some more help.
All right, so come out.
And it's only $50 a year for Sons is $25, but for the rest of us, it's $50s, which is less than $1 a week,
Unless
guys.
you're under 18, and then it's $15.
Yeah.
Right. Yes.
But it's a service organization, but it's also a social organization.
Yeah. You can sign up your kids and grandkids. All they have to be is born.
Yeah.
So long as they're born, you can sign them up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great way. Again, go to roswelllegion.org or come to our meeting on Thursday. Come out Thursday.
I actually signed up a son the day before he was born once.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, but we were pretty sure it was going to happen.
Right. Like the odds were good. We're already there. And,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a...
Yeah, if her water broke, it's probably ready. Yeah.
I think so.
Sign the line there.
Yep.
He's a son now.
Like, I decided to stay back in for another 6 months. It doesn't happen.
Of course, you're probably going to have an ultrasound to find out if it's a Legionnaire or
a boy,
a son or an auxiliary member.
Well, they can do that pretty early now. Usually usually by the end of the first trimester, they can tell it, right?
I thought it was second, but either way.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't have any kids. I have no experience.
No, I don't either.
You have 4 kids,
I didn't birth them.
Well, being male, that might be difficult.
You don't look like a birthing person to me.
That's point one. I'm not a cat either. That's the other one.
Yeah.
I'm as close to giving birth as guys gets as passing kidney stones. So.
That's what I hear.
That's what they say. Yeah. I haven't had to do that yet either.
Yeah, I haven't
Chalking
either.
that one. My wife, gallbladder. She had an issue, but not.
This is wood, actually.
It is, yeah.
This is from Glenn's Furniture.
Yeah.
He built this for us custom. It is definitely wood.
Nice.
Again, roswelllegion.org. Come out. I guess the next thing quick would be this Thursday meeting. Come out if you want to do that. Or come out Saturday morning, beginning at 7 a.m. at the farmer's market.
Yeah, you can pick up some nice produce, get some baked goods from us, and enjoy the cool morning air.
Get your tickets for the gun drawing while they're still available.
Yeah, drop by the booth, get some black tar heroin.
There you go.
Also known as brownies.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, everybody tells me at farmer's market that the brownies are addictive as all get out.
Well, you got to be there like early to get there.
Lately, we've had puff pastries.
Ooh.
And those don't last 30 minutes.
Oh, so they're even quicker than the brownies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, the puff pastries go faster than brownies.
If you want the baked goods from the American Legion.
You got to get there before 9.
Yeah, before 9. Yeah, I would even say 8 just to be safe.
We had Reese's bars last weekend, and that's what took the longest to sell.
And they still sold out.
But then they sell like 6 at a time.
Well, peanut butter people come strong. Like, there's not as many people that are diehard peanut butter people, but when they do, they come fight.
Give me all of the peanut butter.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a unique thing. So, and then, and of course, if you want to help out, you don't even have to be a Legionnaire or a veteran for that
volunteers
matter.
are always welcome.
Always looking for volunteers to serve on our Veterans Committee for the Veterans Parade, or if you want to help out at Memory Lawn and stuff, or just get involved and you're like, well, I'm not a veteran, but I love what you're doing. I'd love to help out.
Memory Lawn right now, we need people dragging lines for water.
Gotcha.
And the mowing part, we pretty got down pat. We got riding lawnmowers that go out there, and we get that taken care of. We also are cleaning gravestones now. I guess we got that special cleaner now.
Okay. And by the way, too, if you want to, because we've kind of adopted the maintenance over at, we've worked with the new owner, or I say new owners, they've owned it for a while, but.
Well, the current owners that are trying to find new owners.
Yeah. We've been working with them, so we kind of do a lot of that. So financially, we're accepting donations for gas money and that kind of stuff.
If you want to
earmark it directly.
for that.
Yeah, just contact Lee. We have a separate account for that. Or if you just say no, put it to whatever you Legionnaires
Scouting
best,
or
whatever. But
anything else or generic.
Yeah, you can earmark any of that stuff.
Pretty much, we don't have any traditional expenses except on the scouting side. I have to pay for electricity and gas.
Yeah.
But other than that, we don't have any of the traditional.
Not a lot of overhead.
Yeah, we don't have a bar or anything like that either. So
most of our donations actually go to the program.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean,
So
I'd say the lion's share.
Yeah. So it's either going, it could be a lot of things. Where at the holidays when we're donating turkeys and all that kind of stuff,
Right.
or
homeless shelters,
buying some pancake mix for the sons, or
And it
buying
is-
firearms for our drawings.
right, and it's back to school season, obviously. So if you happen to notice that there's a really good sale on school supplies, grab 10 of them, donate them, and we'll get them to the schools.
All the time we just try to help out where we need on some of that kind of stuff. If people, sometimes a domestic violence shelter needs some things, and we're like, let's see if we can get to that. So all that money you donate when you buy the brownies and get the gun raffle and all this stuff.
Well, we have a niche market. The 28 does. They have a hall they rent out, and so you can have activities out there. What do they call those things? Sweet 16 parties.
Oh, the quinceañeras.
Quinceañeras and all that stuff. So, I mean, they have a facility for that. Mm-hmm. And then we raise money for the community.
Sure.
So
we're
yin
First
and
United
yang.
Methodist Church has been very kind to house us and do everything for us.
I just wish they'd work an elevator, but
They're working on it.
Catapults.
That would probably be more excitement than I'm looking for.
How fun would that be for a minute?
Yeah, for maybe a minute, and then you gotta come back down.
Till you land, then not so
I
much.
thought we were friends.
I just say we could put a trebuchet in the parking lot. We'd see what happens.
Yeah, no. The only thing I want to send sailing and shipping is over to the troops. So our care packages.
I kind of always wanted to try like the pumpkin chucking and all that. Like
see, that might be fun.
I think that's a bucket list thing I want to do in my life at some point. Just have a trebuchet and launch
Isn't that
produce.
like a Carrie Byron thing or something?
Well, a lot of farms, like I think Graves had one, or they may still have one. I
don't
feel
know.
like they had a trebucheted pumpkin chuck. I know some people do have pumpkin chucking equipment around here.
We are coming up to that season.
Yes, we'll have to look into that. That might
Oh,
be a
by
fun
the way,
fundraiser.
this year Halloween we're not going to do a drive-through.
No drive-through this year?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're having a party, but that's about as close as we're going to get. This
Yeah,
year.
our Halloween team.
committee.
They've done enough.
Well, and 50% of it moved to Colorado.
That's a lot of work to put that together.
It
and
is.
They really took that ball and ran with it. And I can see how that's.
And they're not getting any younger, as they told me. So
Yeah. Well,
they're
it's-
done.
Well, it's a lot of work. And
Well, Rodney helped us out so
He
much,
did.
but
Yeah, over at
he's getting
Roswell
tired.
Livestock.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
Absolutely. So makes
I mean,
sense.
he was out there pulling cable and
Yep.
all that
Setting
stuff
up
at 5
framing.
o'clock in the morning and frames and.
Yeah, I could see why they don't want to do that this year. It's like let's have a party instead. Like
Yeah, I'm thinking we'll probably just participate in the trunk or treat.
good deal. So more
Oh,
to
yeah,
come as
well,
we
we
get
definitely
closer.
have candy to give away.
Oh, we'll be giving away candy.
Yeah.
Because we
No
have
doubt
to eat it all.
about that.
We don't want to do that. We all have a foot in the grave anyway. So
Yeah.
we'll give it away to you guys. Did we get it all?
I hope so,
Well,
because you
for
gotta
this
go.
particular time.
Yeah. Well, it's 10 o'clock. I just saw.
Is it 10 o'clock?
Yeah, it is. We're at the.
Do you know where your fur kids are?
So, again, if you have any questions about anything we talked about, RoswellLegion.org. You can do that. Come out to our meeting every Thursday. Someone's at First United Methodist Church, either sewing or meeting. And so, and then don't forget, for the next month or so, every Saturday morning, Chavez County Courthouse lawn for Farmers Market. That's going to go through September. Usually wraps up about the end of September. But that's going on every Saturday. Come out, meet our American Legion folks. Get your raffle tickets while there's still some available for the two firearms.
Drawing tickets.
Sorry. There's semantics there, but y'all know what I'm talking about. You buy ticket, we give you ticket. Your ticket may win you a gun. Yes, that's whatever you want to call that. That's what's going on.
Exactly.
And then, of course, if you want to be a Legionnaire or an auxiliary or some member, please, love to have you. Always looking for some more folks to come be a part of our family here. So, good deal. Thank you, guys. Safe travels.
Thanks, Mike.
So you guys are getting ready to go. Are you guys heading out of town for another thing now, or is that
No, not for a couple weeks.
Okay, it was a couple weeks. I was thinking for some reason it was coming up soon. You guys were back. You guys are on the road more than you're not on the road. So.
Don't I know it? And then after the U-Haul fiasco. So.
That's true. Yeah. Go back and listen if you want to hear that story. We don't want to recap.
No.
But thank you guys. We'll see y'all next time, okay?
Thanks, Mike.
All right, 10:01. That's going to do it for us. Have an amazing day. Thank you very much for allowing us to be a part of it. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico. Town Hall News in progress. Then some Clay and Buck. Have a great day, everybody.